allowed the children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
off your mind.
Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Hello there.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí.
Congratulations will be in order to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. That is the only thing left in Nigeria. Football, something that still unites the people, at least, before they wake up tomorrow, to their mysteries again. So yes, congratulations will be in order.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun diary Politico.
Amazing guy. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun Live.
Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ dódódódó. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me from wherever you are watching from. Remember, share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Maiyegun today.
Maiyegun today. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun today. And yes, so like you. Maiyegun today. lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àníyàn sọ́ra jù. Maiyegun ti dé.
At the point, people were asking, shitty man, leave that stadium. Take your bad luck away. Please leave that place. I mean, I love the hysteria.
Yes,
in fairness, I didn't really watch the match, but I followed the game. APC, Egbekegbe are asking and begging Atiku and Obi to give Tinubu ideas on how to fix Nigeria economy, insecurity, and all the maladies facing Nigeria. Instead of criticizing him, they want them to give him ideas now. Can you even believe that? And I will always respect internet. The internet never forgets. As the bigots are crying, their tears are flooding my entire street. Yoruba Ronu to Yoruba Ponus, and then the Ronu Nazis. Tell them that Mutide. Mutide. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun live. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, I sort of shared a copy of a supposed press release from the APC, Egbekegbe, Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Apanyan People's Congress. Some said that Apanijaye People's Congress, whatever you want to call them, just remember to add Egbekegbe, and Egbekegbe is the bad society. Now, that is exactly what APC represent, by the way. However, those who told you that Tinubu has been planning to be Nigeria president for the past 30 years, Baba, within the space of 9 months, Nigeria is currently at the departure lounge. And the same characters who wanted to gaslight you, call you names to keep you quiet, they themselves are pretty much unable to keep quiet anymore because hunger no be anybody's mate. You can pretend for all you care. On social media, it seems that we are all okay. We're all doing fine. Rich people. Fantastic. But off the social media, Baba, whatever you are reading right now, all lamentation complaints you are currently seeing on social media, can never be compared to the ones that are really physical out there. I am saying that to you because I have evidence. People can't really pretend any much longer. I am not saying that those who are complaining most, the loudest of them who told you you will cry for 8 years, Baba, 8 months, their tears are already flooding our streets. Now, those, like I said, those ones, which are pretty much like, there are those who are adding spice to it. So, some of you who never expected anything from Tinubu, you are not disappointed, even though you are also affected. But somehow, a lot of you have found a way to sort of embrace what you knew was coming that you probably couldn't stop. So those who called you names, those who found the ember of a division, ember of ethnic division, religious division, and all of them, they cannot pretend for too long. What in Tinubu, they have already started cursing him. But remember this, that does not mean they will not do it again. Do not believe in their tears per se. Just remember the Yoruba adage that says, when the eye is producing goes, what do? You what? You will remove the speck, the peck, you will remove that. Sorry, in Scotland they call it gooey. So anyway, you will remove the peck and show the eyes that see the debt you have just produced. Tí ojú bá ti ń ṣe ìpín, a máa ń yọ ìpín yẹn, àwa fi hàn ojú ká tó sọnù. The reason why we will continue to flung it on their faces and continue to remind them that we might not be able to understand the anguish and pain that they are trying to express, but somehow, we just want to remind them that they are the cause and the causes of their own unfortunate, situation. And if they continue in that trajectory, if they are not killed by it, they will be totally destroyed. Show it to them. Because the clowns that they told you that Tinubu was going to appoint, you didn't need his head. You don't need his body. You don't need his whatever. You only needed his brain. Now his brain has dipped you further in abject poverty that they are already telling you, you better brace up. It is not ending soon. And I will also tell you tonight why it is so easy to predict everything that will happen in Nigeria, especially economically. Easy budget. If you pay attention to detail, I will share that with you again tonight. So yesterday, I believe, they called those three clowns, three thieves that are running your country. Baba, make I tell you about them. The first one is Kadobi Kadi Oduduwa Emefiole, which is in charge of their central bank, making monetary policies that are pretty much like a copy and paste of Emefiole's policies that led Nigeria to this. Then they had the former commissioner for finance in Lagos, Wale Edun, the characters that helped Tinubu to establish his fiefdom in Lagos and siphoned every penny that they could steal from Lagos. For the past 24 years, those who laid the foundation, Wale Edun is in charge of your finance ministry. Sonny Abacha's bagman, the man that helped Sonny Abacha to siphon billions of dollars out of Nigeria during the reign of that despot, Sonny Abacha. I am talking about Abubakar Bagudu. Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, the former governor of Kebbi State, who also pretty much is also one of the governors that have been, touted to have also looted their state. A criminal that helped the former despot to loot Nigeria blind, and he was compensated being a governor. He continued looting it, and afterward, he became the national planning minister for Nigeria. The person that is planning your national economy and whatever it is called is the former bagman for Abacha. Three of them now went straight into the House of Thieves. The House of Representatives, they call themselves. And according to Wale Edun, it was like Tinubu met a dead country. That's what he said. A collapsed country. Boko Haram already finished Nigeria. Right now. Tinubu didn't say that to you. Every time he sees Boko Haram, it will be prostrating, bending, and like, you know what I mean? So he didn't say that to you, but they know a lot of you will never possibly watch it or see it. But he said it anyway. So whatever you are going through right now under APC, ladies and gentlemen, you will need to continue going. We'll stop by in that assembly. Pick all he said, okay? And then, like I said, if you are one of those that are still believing that they are doing something to help you out of this pit they are dipping you in. I am telling you something. The fact that you are expecting them, that you are thinking they are doing something, is not different from you digging the hole that they have dipped you in, right? You, instead of you to find a way to get out, you are digging hole more. Your silence, your quietness, your expectation of these rogues, right? In another 6 months, what they told you in June 2023 is what they are telling you right now in January, February 2024. By the time you get to July 2024, they will tell you the same thing. But then your situation would have been like, oh my God. And I'm not making it up. Listen to this, the first one. This is Wale Edun.
Representatives, the leadership of the House of Representatives, honorable members, good afternoon. Let me start by, on behalf of my colleagues here and indeed the rest of the economic management team, which I have the privilege to lead, thank you all for this opportunity at this all-important dialogue. I also will, at this time, the very first time we're interacting after the passage of the 2024 budget, thank you on behalf of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for your support in swiftly passing his budget and your collaboration and cooperation generally. We have heard from my colleagues, and naturally they have virtually covered the field. Where we are as a nation economically is a much, much better place than we were on the 29th of May, 2023. We have heard from the governor of Central Bank. He talked about the unsustainability. He talked about the importance of sustainability before the implementation of the 8-point agenda of the president began. We were in an unsustainable place in terms of the fiscal situation of Nigeria. We were on the road to economic disaster. We had expenditure which was wasteful and unsustainable by way of the subsidy, not just on fuel, but the subsidy on foreign exchange, which confused the incentive framework, and people were chasing cheap dollars in order to make instant profits. Of course, in turning back from that road, as we have heard, there will be dust. However, bold measures have been taken, and there have been positive results. If we look at the finances of the government today, there has been benefit to the federation account. There has been reduction in the consumption of petrol by about 20 million liters because there was smuggling, apart from even wasteful use of that all-important resource. And likewise, there have been other benefits which have accrued as a result of the changes that have been made. However, there has been cost. Inflation has increased. The cost of living has spiked. And right from the onset, Mr. President committed to making sure that the poorest and the most vulnerable were not left behind. And that's why, as we heard earlier from the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the palliatives, the interventions have been rolled out. Well, let us examine exactly where we are today after a series of economic reforms and intervention measures. And I will come back to the all-important issue of helping Nigerians with the cost of living. But first,
Nuisance Lele.
Now, be honest with me. Could you pick any sense in what he said in that 4-minute video? Could anybody pick any sense from that? Let us start with him admitting that he said Nigeria was headed for economic disaster as at May 29, 2023. Write that down. Economic disaster. Who was taking Nigeria to economic disaster? Bokwari APC. Then he now said, with the activities of some people collecting subsidy on dollars, Baba, be honest, she na me and you collected subsidy on dollars. Who were the characters of people that were given subsidy on dollars? Where are those people today? Where is the traces of amount of dollars given to people on subsidy? And where are those people today? They are APC, Egbe. Then he went on. He said wasteful money on subsidy. That since Tinubu removed subsidy, the usage of petrol in Nigeria has reduced by 20 million. Abi? So which means somehow they have saved a lot of money. But when you ask them, where is the money? He also said, Tinubu rolled out palliatives. Hey, make I remind you, okay? Tinubu told, Tinubu told the national, what do you call that silo, where they keep all this agricultural produce? They call it silo, where they store them. Tinubu told the people in charge of that to release grains to cushion the effect of subsidy. And by so doing, they will give people rice, maize. We all saw how that went, yo. A lot of you only saw the video. And for those who saw the rice, some of them probably, they just said, open your hands. And you open your hands, they just put some on your hands and say, yeah, go home. That's your share. Okay? Tinubu said, they will pay you 88,000 naira every month from the money saved from subsidy. How many of you have been paid that penny yet? None. Tinubu told workers that they will be paid 35,000 naira extra on their monthly salaries for the next 6 months before they will now discuss the minimum wage. They paid that 35,000 naira once. Nobody received them again. And this was about 5 months ago. All of this palliative that clown is talking about there, I am asking you again, did you pick any point, any sense from what he said? Okay, maybe you will see some point in this. Those are the clowns they told you are working to make Nigeria work. And you who has little brains or some brains in your head, you sit down there and you believe that. You are now waiting for the result of their action. Baba, ebi alakpadupe. You make be alakpadupe. You go get hungry. Sote, you go watch others who are also hungry, like member of the family. And just right before your very eyes, you go to see some people, they take their last breath. They no seek you. Now hunger. And as they are taking their last breath, you will be thanking God. Thank God I am still alive, even though I am hungry. So you'll be thanking God. In Yoruba land, we call it ebi alakpadupe. Maybe some points here, Sha.
representatives, as a year from oil sales. So we can see the adjustment that has had to be made. Now we are on the way back up. 1.65 million barrels a day and rising. And in addition, the Minister for Budget had said that the bold measures that were taken are resonating around the world. We go to the IMF meetings, UNGA meetings, G20 meetings, and there is nothing but pride and admiration and deep respect for the courage that has been shown economically in Nigeria. And what has also resounded is that we have to look inwards. We have to focus on domestic resource mobilization. The chairman, FIRS, has said what they are doing in terms of domestic resource mobilization. I can tell you that with the application of technology and this august body and the Senate, if you look at the Hansard of December 30, the Senate mandated that we go out and bring government revenue that was lying in MDAs and government-owned enterprises, but rightly belonged in the Consolidated Revenue Fund, to bring it in. And that has been done. And the results are a rise in revenue to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Similarly, in agriculture, if we need to stabilize the economy, two things need to happen. Inflation needs to be tackled. The governor of Central Bank has said what is being done. He has announced his targets for inflation, and the fact that inflation targeting will be a key element of the strategy, which is right because they're in charge of the targets of monetary policy. But in addition to that, when you look at inflation, a large element is food inflation. In fact, food inflation accounts for 33% of the consumer price index. So when you attack food production, raise food production, you bring down the price of food, you bring down inflation, you get a chance to bring down interest rates, and there lies the road to investment. I was recently in Nasarawa. I met all the stakeholders in the agricultural chain, and they were able to commit with confidence to a very good dry season harvest. And we know all the steps that have been taken to intervene in that sector, from fertilizer, from grain supply, to funding for rice, maize, wheat, and cassava, to bring under production 400,000 hectares. So these are the steps that are being taken to get inflation down, to stabilize the economy, and prepare for investment. And just, I will also add that in terms of production, industry requires energy. I chair a power sector steering committee to deal with the issues in that sector. And on the issue of interventions, I must return to it. We are talking about increases in revenue available to all tiers of government through the federation account. And we are also talking about the ability of the federal government.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
It's already pissing me off. And I'm so sorry that I had to subject you to that kind of a trauma, to sit down there and begin to try to figure out any sense from what he's saying. None of them addresses anything. But there is one, okay, which apart from just words, there is no substance behind it. He's talking about food inflation. You know, everybody is complaining right now. They are hungry. Things are too expensive. People cannot afford to feed or all of that stuff. That seems to be the loudest complaint. I would say hunger, food. So normally you ask yourself, how can Nigeria not grow our own food? It is not because Nigerians can't grow their own food. But when you have government that have turned insecurity into business, and they have turned terrorism into an industry, your economy is expected to suffer greatly. Of course, you need power to run your industries, productions, and all of that. You need power to power the homes and to power your machineries and all that. Great. But majority of the raw materials that will end up in your machineries, in your industries, in your factories and all of that, they were supposed to come from the farms, majority of them. But for the past 12 years, terrorists up north and their sponsor, they have unleashed a never seen before jihad on Nigeria and the rest of Nigeria. And the politicians, successive politicians, since this began, successive politicians have taken advantage of that to line their own pockets. And the people, they were left at their own, to their own fate. Farmers were slaughtered, kidnapped, farms were ransacked, destroyed. While all of this were going on, even Nigeria. Now, you may not be able to quantify how much people lost to the Fulani terrorism alone. You may not be able to quantify it individually. But we can use the template of the loss of the Central Bank of Nigeria that borrowed money from the AFDB, African Development Bank, where Akinwumi Adesina, the former agriculture minister in Nigeria, is their president. They collected loan from AFDB, agriculture loan they called it. And it was to help farmers in Nigeria to grow food. So that when Bokwari shut the borders of Nigeria, which practically means the southern border. Northern borders there is no border in the north. All right? Shutting the border of Nigeria, they said, in a year, Nigeria will have food sufficiency and it will be sustained. In fact, they encouraged people. They were giving interest-free loans to some people in northern Nigeria to open fertilizer factories so that they can continue to manufacture fertilizers for farmers. Now, they were manufacturing fertilizers. Nigeria, Bokwari's government was subsidizing it. They were giving them to farmers, and they were also giving them money. They were cultivating lands for them, but they couldn't protect them. Over 2 trillion naira investments, wasted because there was no security. That was on the part of the federal government too. Federal government that went outside to borrow money, but had no security to protect the investment. They ended up filling bags with sawdusts in order to display them as pyramid rice in Abuja. They did not fear that it could rain. Rice that people will eat. They transported them into open space. Conform pyramid. Took pictures as the success of their agricultural revolution. But guess what? It never changed the price of food. Instead of the price of food to go down in Nigeria, at least you know the story now. Here you get. They can't provide security. But he just mentioned in his speech there that they have cultivated 400,000 hectares of land in the north, where they are growing millet, maize, and all of that. And you, we get sense. You believe him, Abi? In 6-7 months' time, you'll be asking them, when are you going to harvest the 400,000 acres of land you cultivated? The one you told us in October. They begin to tell you story again. It go turn to fight again. Everything will be like, they are still working on it. Even if they have to go and take pictures of people's farms to show you. But the price of food in the market will never be affected. How many of you remember this lady? I love internet, Baba. Do you remember this lady? In February 2023, after the Yorubas and then others in Lagos destroyed the criminal structure that Tinubu and his Agberos continue to brag about, shame them, trash them. A girl, a lady like this, took to social media. First, she danced. The second, she called out the Yorubas, who rejected Tinubu as Omoale Yorubas, who sold their father's houses to Igbos. And that is why they are supporting Obi and they are rejecting Tinubu. Internet never forgets. 8 months, we are going back to that National Assembly again anyway. But do you remember this lady?
Jagun jagun lombo. Aṣíwájú ogun àkàndé gbọ́dọ̀ sẹ́yìn ogun. Jagun jagun lombo. Àkàndé adé general politician ni.
Ẹ má ṣàgídí Ọlọ́run ló ń pín. Ẹ má ṣàgídí Ọlọ́run ló ń pín. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ gbà fún Tinubu. Olórí burúkú ọmọ àlè Yorùbá ó ti talé bàbá ó ti gbé fún Ìgbò. Òun ló ṣe ń ka lára. Ẹjọ́ ṣe lásìmọ̀ máa ranjú lẹ̀. Ó máa jẹ́ kó gbà lọ́wọ́ Tinubu. Àbí neighborhood máa ranjú lẹ̀. Àbí lọ́mà máa ranjú lẹ̀. Àwọn Ìgbò nìyẹn bó ṣe wà nínú Olúwọlé tó ń ṣe bísínẹ́sì wọn tó. Peter Obi yìí ló dìbò fún. Ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú ọmọ àlè Yorùbá ẹ wá bèèrè pé kí ni Tinubu ṣe. Ẹ lè rí nǹkan tí Tinubu ṣe. Gbà tó wà ní governor láti Ọbalẹ́ndé títí dé Tom Jones òun ló la títì. Òun ló ṣe títì ló ṣe kọ́tà. Tí gbogbo everybody rìn bó ṣe hùn. Ó tún ṣe wọnú Tom Jones. Lóní ká anybody máa rìn bó ṣe hùn. Ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú àwọn bèèrè pé kí ni Tinubu fẹ́ ṣe fún kí ni Peter Obi fẹ́ ṣe fún wa. Ìgbà tí Buhari Ọlọ́run bí ọrùn àgùnfọ́ tó fẹ́ wọlé ó ní màálù ẹyọ kan lòun ní Peter Obi tuntun já búrẹ́dì lé wa lọ́wọ́ pé ago ẹyọ kan lòun ní wọ́n wá débẹ̀ tán wọ́n wá dọ̀kọ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí Tinubu náà ṣe ẹ jẹ́ kóun náà ṣe ẹ jẹ́ kó ṣe ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tẹ́tí múlẹ̀ bàbá yín tẹ́tí ta fún Yíbò tẹ́ẹ̀ tún sẹ́sẹ̀ ọmọ Èkó tí sojú títì tẹ́ẹ̀ tún sẹ́sẹ̀ lé bàbá yín olórí burúkú yín ló ní ti Tinubu báwo gbogbo tó bá dẹ̀ ti Tinubu báwo ó máa jẹun ló máa ṣanwó lódò ni ẹni kìlọ̀ ṣe ẹ lè rí nǹkan tó ṣe ẹ lè rí àwọn tá a rí nǹkan tó ṣe à ń forí ṣe à ń fọhùn ṣe fún ojú yín ní yegede yìí òun ló ń ka yẹn kó tí ẹsẹ tó dùn mí fún jù àwọn tètè ọ̀sà kò sí títì létí ọ̀sà tẹ́lẹ̀ kò sí títì létí ọ̀sà igbó ni gbogbo wa ń tẹ̀ ó wá ń wá tó wá là yín lójú ẹ wá wípé wá ní Peter Obi ẹjọ́ Yíbò mélòó ló dìbò fún Tinubu ẹ̀yin lórí burúkú ẹ̀yin ọmọ alẹ́ Yorùbá ẹ wá lọ ń tẹ̀ka fún Peter Obi tí wọ́n bá wà kọsẹ̀jáyé yín dáadáa ẹ lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ìyá yín pé ta ló dún bàbá yín lóyún Yíbò ni kò ń ṣe Yorùbá Yíbò òun ni kò ń ṣe Yorùbá ẹni Tinubu bá wò Tinubu kí ló fẹ́ ṣe fún yín ẹ lọ́pọ̀lù ẹ ti dọ́ba ọmọ tó bí lànà kò lọ́pọ̀lọ tó Tinubu ẹ lé kọ́tọ̀kọ̀tọ̀ ló ń sọ wọ́wọ́wọ́ ló ń sọ wẹ́rẹ́wẹ́rẹ́ ló ń sọ Peter Obi ọ̀sọ̀ wọ́wọ́wọ́ tó lágbo ẹyọ kan lòun ní ó ní bàtà ẹyọ kan lòun ní bàtà yóò ń ṣe wèrè èèyàn tó sọ wípé bàtà ẹyọ kan lòun ó yẹ ká ti kà kó pé wèrè ni wèrè ló ń wọ bàtà ẹyọ kan wèrè ló ń wọ bàtà ẹyọ kan ló ń lago ẹyọ kan ọmọ tó bí lànà gòjẹ sọ pé bàtà ẹyọ kan lòun ní ẹbí bí bàbá Ọlọ́run jìráàfù bó ṣe dé nìyẹn tó ní Tinubu ò lọ́rùn ṣóun lọ́rùn sí òun lọ́rùn sí ó ní ṣó ń ta mọ́tò ni ṣóun náà ń ta mọ́tò ni ẹ mọ iye ọ̀kadà tó mú ẹ fi lásídẹ̀ǹtì ẹ mọ iye ọ̀kadà tó fi lásídẹ̀ǹtì tó rà gọ̀ àwa Yorùbá gọ̀ tá a bá gọ̀ ni ẹ̀yin Yorùbá ẹ máa mú ó ṣe jẹ́ pé kọ Yorùbá tiwa ni ò ń jọ wá lójú ẹ jẹ́ kí nǹkan tiwa náà máa jọ wá lójú ẹ jẹ́ kó ṣe ẹ fi lọ́rùn lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe pa Abíọ́lá ẹ má pa á ATS ló máa ṣe lójú ẹ̀mí yín aṣojú mẹ́jọ yẹn.
Jagunjagun.
8 years ló máa ṣe. I am sorry for those who probably didn't understand Yoruba, but I'll tell you what she said, okay? First, she danced, and it's like a warrior dance. Sure, you get it's like a war dance by a warrior and all that, by warriors, so to say. Olórí ogun ò gbọ́dọ̀ kẹ́yìn ogun, jagun jagun ló ń bọ̀. What that means is, in this song was saying that the leader of the leader of a battalion, the leader of the war, will not stay behind the battalion, his own army. He will lead his own army. Then she turned to that rage and rant. According to her, she said, only the unfortunate Yorubas rejected Tinubu. She said, those unfortunate Yorubas who have sold their parents' houses to Igbos, they were the ones who decided to go and vote for Peter Obi and rejected their own blood, Tinubu. She said, if they investigate many of these Yorubas that rejected Tinubu, they will realize that they are not real Yorubas. So they will realize that they should go and ask their mothers. They will realize that their mothers were impregnated by Igbos. He said a lot of you were complaining that Tinubu is, what do you call it? Is sick. And she was like, let her do it. I mean, let him do it too. Let Tinubu do it too. Peter Obi said he only has one watch, one wristwatch, one shoe. Does that make any sense to all of you? That's how they lied to you. That's how Bokwari came and he lied to all of you. Bokwari said he only had one cow. So Peter Obi is now saying he only had one wristwatch. He only had one shoe. Is that not a sign for you to know that he is a liar? That he is coming there to that now when he comes to power, he will now be Lord all over you and all of that stuff. That leave Tinubu, he will do 8 years and there's nothing you can do about it. Amen, sister. Let's dance again. Now, fast forward to 9 months later, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dance again.
Jagun jagun ló ń bọ̀. Aṣíwájú ogun Àkànbí ò gbọ́dọ̀ ṣẹ́yìn ogun. Jagun jagun ló ń bọ̀. Àkànbí adé general politician ni.
Búra wa jẹ, à ń búra wa jẹ kiri. Oúnjẹ àárọ̀ ò bá tọ̀sán mọ́. Oúnjẹ ọ̀sán ò bá talẹ́ mọ́. Kí ló dé? Ẹ̀yin APC tábà ìṣẹ́ máa jẹ́ kẹ́lòmíì ṣe. Ẹ má pa wá tó díẹ̀díẹ̀. Àwọn kidnapper ò tún jẹ́ agbádùn. Àwọn kidnapper ò tún jẹ́ agbádùn. A lè sùn, a lè wà ní security. Kò síná, kò sómi, kò sóúnjẹ, kò sí nǹkan kan. Kí ló dé? Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣàánú wa. Ẹ ṣàánú wa. Ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣàánú àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù náà. Gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà ti kú tán, ọmọdé kékeré ti kú tán, ebi ló pa wọ́n. Tẹ́ ẹ bá rí ṣe mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀. Ṣé báwo aládìbò fún yín? Àwọn aládìbò fún yín. Mo wà láàrin ọjà níjẹta. Wọ́n ń fà mí láṣọ báyìí ni pé madam jẹ̀bẹ́ ilẹ̀ bá di sọ́kà dìbò fún APC. APC náà ládìbò fún ilẹ̀ bí ń pa wá. Gbogbo èyí tẹ́ wà nídìí ọ̀tẹ̀ yìí. Ọ̀tẹ̀ máa bá yín tọmọtọmọ ni. Ọ̀tẹ̀ máa bá yín tọmọ. Indomie táàrà 50 naira. Ó ti di 500 naira. Kí ló dé agolo ráìsì 1,300. Ṣé gbèsè ayé là ń gbé yìí? Ṣé gbèsè ayé là ń gbé yìí? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ká pariwo. Èrúmùsẹ̀ 400,000. Èrúmùsẹ̀ 400,000. Kí ló dé? Kí ló dé? Wọ́n gbé 70,000 wá sínú yàrá kan. Kí là ń lò níná? Kí ló dé? Gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà ẹ ti sùn. Ẹ ti sùn, ẹ dìde lẹ̀. Àwọn ìjọba fẹ́ pa wá. Wọ́n fẹ́ pa wá, gbogbo nǹkan ti gbówó lórí. Tinubu, Buhari, sínétọ̀. Ní èpè máa bá yín tọmọtọmọ. Ẹsẹ̀ tó ń ṣe dẹni tí ò lè ṣe mọ́. Ayé yìí ti bàjẹ́. Ẹ̀yin APC, Tinubu tó bá ti mọ̀ pé òun ṣe mọ́ gbé sílẹ̀. Tó bá ti mọ̀ pé òun lè rí ṣe mọ́ gbé sílẹ̀. Kí ló dé o fẹ́ pa wá ni? Àwọn NEPA tún gbé tiwọn wá. Adédìbò olórí burúkú ọmọ àlè Ìbàdàn. Láti ọtí mo ti dé láyé mi mọ̀ pé sọ́sídì wà lórí iná. Inú 2024 ni mo mọ̀ pé sọ́sídì wà lórí iná. Ó tún lọ́wọ́ mẹ́rin sọ́sídì orí owó náà NEPA tá à ń lò. Yàrá kan ni mò ń gbé, fáànù nìkan ni mo ní. Wọ́n gbé 70,000 wá bẹ̀. Ẹ máa ṣòfò tọmọtọmọ ni. Gbogbo èyí tẹ́ ẹ̀ rúdù Nàìjíríà pátápátá. Indomie táàrà 50 naira. Ó ti di 500 naira. Kí ló dé agolo ráìsì 1,300. Ṣé gbèsè ayé là ń gbé yìí? Ṣé gbèsè ayé là ń gbé yìí? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Nàìjíríà jẹ́ ká pariwo. Èrúmùsẹ̀ 400,000. Èrúmùsẹ̀ 400,000. Kí ló dé? Kí ló dé? Wọ́n gbé 70,000 wá sínú yàrá kan. Kí là ń lò níná? Kí ló dé? Búra wa jẹ, à ń búra wa jẹ kiri. Oúnjẹ àárọ̀ ò bá tọ̀sán mọ́. Oúnjẹ ọ̀sán ò bá talẹ́ mọ́. Kí ló dé? ẹ̀yin APC tábà ìṣe máa jẹ́ kẹ́lòmíì ṣe ẹ má pàwọ́ tó díẹ̀díẹ̀ àwọn kidnapper tún jẹ́ agbádùn àwọn kidnapper tún jẹ́ agbádùn a lè sún àlè wà ní security kò síná kò sómi kò sóúnjẹ kò sí nǹkan kan kí ló dé ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣàánú wa ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ ṣàánú àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù náà gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà ti kú tán ọmọdé kékeré ti kú tán ebi ló pa wọn tẹ́ ẹ bá rí ṣe mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀ ṣe báwọn aládìbò fún yín àwọn aládìbò fún yín mo wà láàrin ọjà níjẹta wọ́n ń fà mí láṣọ báyìí ni pé madam jẹ báyìí lẹ bá jí sọ pé ká dìbò fún APC náà ládìbò fún.
àti ṣe bó àti ṣe tẹ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ àti ń parọ́ tipẹ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ òtítọ́ òdìmú òdodo òsì mọ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ òtí ṣe tẹ́ kágbádé fáláre àti ṣe tẹ́ kágbẹ̀bí fáláre àti ṣe tẹ́ adájọ́ ń parọ́ torí owó àti ṣe tẹ́ òtìlú ń parọ́ nítorí ipò àti ṣe tẹ́ èdò gbówó mi ń tẹ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ ètì ṣe tẹ́ ìjà ń jà aráàlú àti ṣe tẹ́ àti ṣe bó àti ṣe tẹ́ àti ń parọ́ tipẹ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ òtítọ́ òdìmú òdodo òsì mọ́ àti ṣe tẹ́ kágbádé fáláre àti ṣe tẹ́ kágbẹ̀bí fáláre àti ṣe tẹ́ adájọ́ ń parọ́ torí owó àti ṣe tẹ́ òtìlú ń parọ́ nítorí ipò àti ṣe tẹ́ èdò gbówó mi ń tẹ́.
Etishebo. That's the lady there. And like I told you, just watch them. If you have a son or a daughter that sees Tinubu as a role model, oh, Bimo, you have no children. And listen to me, if your parents are somehow defender of Tinubu APC, ni parenti. God just used them to bring you to this mystery world, and this you may not understand. It's okay. You will still understand it. You know what I mean? So when you have people like that, you do a Romobi, pure waste of oxygen, so to say. They will do it again. They will. They will curse, they will cry, they will do all of that. But let somebody call her and say, how much is your rent? Let me tell you why she's screaming, so that you can know. That lady that was cursing Yoruba almost a year ago for Tinubu. She's now cursing Tinubu, cursing the people and everybody in APC. Here you get, she's like, we are hungry. Everything is expensive now. A cup of rice, 18 cup of rice is now 1,200. The NEPA bill, the electricity bill has skyrocketed. They actually charged her 70,000 naira for electricity. And she was like, I only live in one room. And then one phone. How can I be charged 70,000 naira? What kind of a thing is this? Do you want to kill all of us? Tinubu, if you can no longer do it, please leave that place. All of you. Now God will destroy you and your family as you are destroying us today. Kilode, what did we do? The last time, 3 days ago, I was in the market and everybody was just dragging me and pulling me here. Madam, you told us to vote for APC. Look at what they are doing to us now. Look at, I beg you never to get swayed by their tears. It's not real. They are so selfish that if I begin to analyze their selfishness to you, and how dangerous their selfishness is, and how myopic, short-sightedness they are, how short-sighted they are. We'll probably spend the rest of the evening talking about that. Do not buy any of their tears. So whatever shaggy everybody is going through right now, just continue going until you are tired. And when you are tired, we will know. We will know. So make a go. I mean, for some of you still watching, especially the Agbadorians, who believes that there is some magic that these criminals are going to to perform. And all of these things, everything will begin to look fine. Everything will begin to calm down. And all those nonsense you are telling yourself to avoid this, in order not to drench yourself in this trauma in a way, to escape this trauma. Only escape. Only escape. So if you look at all these clowns and what is coming out of their mouth, and you sit down there and you still think, Tinubu and his guys, they are doing something that some of us don't understand. That's why we are criticizing. That is why we are Baba, you will soon upload your own video too. When it touch you, you will make a video. I will see the video. I will show your fellow Agbadorians pé ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. Kadoso Kadibi, Abi Kadobi, it was after reading that prepared nonsense that he blamed those of you who are schooling abroad too. Those of you who are going for medical abroad, when the real people, the real corporates who uses Nigeria Forex for all of this are Kadoso himself, his family members, and the rest of their own elite circle. So after reading that jargons, they started asking him questions. So this might be a little bit longer, okay? I need you to look at the central bank governor of Nigeria. What he is saying in relation, relative to what is happening in Nigeria. I'll come back intermittently. Kadoso Reo.
These members is that given the limitation of these various monetary policies in addressing this cost push inflation, what other alternatives or complementary strategies is the CBN considering to combat the inflation? In specific terms, they want to hear that. And whether there are plans to adjust the current monetary policy rate strategy in line with the prevailing economic situation. This is some of the things they are trying to capture in the varieties of the questions that they are asking around inflation. So let's hear specifically. Nigerians want to know what measures.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I think it's important to say that monetary policy tools can only take us so far. The idea is not to rely on monetary policy tools. Monetary policy tools have a way of moderating a situation where the macroeconomic variables are getting imbalanced. The monetary policy tools on their own are not sufficient, and neither should they be considered as long-term to be reliant on. They cannot be. They help a situation stabilize, but ultimately it requires the work of the fiscal. And that is why it is so important that both the fiscal and the monetary must work hand in hand. We have absolutely no doubt in our minds that the monetary doing it all on its own will not work. We have no doubt about that. So let me be very clear on that. That's not the idea. The idea is to at least be able to buy time and give relief to the system while the other inefficiencies or things that are not working as effectively as they should now kick in.
So is there collaboration with you and the Minister of Finance in seeing that fiscal and monetary policies align in tackling this inflation? Is it there?
Yes, it is. And for the avoidance of doubt, because this is very important, I know many times the question is asked about the relationship between the Ministry of Finance and the central bank, which is very important. And to answer that question before I say something else, we already have joint committees that meet on a very, very regular basis to look at these issues in a harmonized manner. That's one. Some of you.
Honorable colleagues, this is a dignified, sacred house. You should allow the minister to answer the questions, please. The governor, please. The governor.
So we already have committees that work very, very close together to harmonize positions that are being taken. And of course, on the board of the central bank, there's strong representation from the fiscal side. So we ensure that at all times that collaboration is in check and is working smoothly. And where I was going to was, apart from the Ministry of Finance, it is also important that the central bank collaborates with other entities of government. Okay, for example, now we spoke about the NMPC, that NMPC moving its accounts towards the central bank also makes for greater collaboration between the two. And Mr. President's directive that all MDAs should have their accounts with the central bank, I think also speaks volumes of the kind of collaboration that...
Okay, let me save you the stress. Like I said, I will be coming in intermittently. That is the central bank governor of Nigeria. Okay, the man who is in charge of the monetary policies for the country. Okay, now the question is about inflation, which means that the central bank of the country would have to make laws that would help sort of streamline and or balance the I'm about to start speaking grammar that won't make any sense to all of you, but let me use my own term. Okay, so the central bank of a country, right? They are the ones who set interest rates. Okay, they are the ones who, apart from the fact that it's the apex bank that house all banks, is the bank of all banks. Okay, but policy wise, they are the ones who set interest rates. They are the ones who gauge inflation rates. So when inflation and then interest, how to balance them to make sure that, the biting of inflation, which is probably going to the biting is sort of reduce or balance. You will still feel it. Okay, things will go up, but businesses, they will still have access to easy sort of loans to shore up and back up any sort of a shock that their business might suffer and all that. The job of the central bank. The central bank, apart from printing money and supply of money in the circulation, which is also theirs, they determine how much of money is actually cash, available cash, whether it's in the bank or is in your pockets in the circulation. They will be able to determine that and control that. But you see, the Central Bank of Nigeria have lost all of that. It has gone completely to the dogs. And you see this Cardoso and his crook, the one that is talking there, also knows that there is nothing called Central Bank of Nigeria anymore in the real sense of it. Certain monetary policies or setting this or something to target inflation, they are just all jargons that in practice, practically, right? They have no idea. Here you get. So they can bamboozle you with grammar. The question is, inflation, they kill Nigerians. What is the central bank doing to ensure that that inflation is reduced? If inflation is reduced, cost of living will reduce. But in Nigeria, when it go up, they come down. You can listen to all grammar you want. But again, I'm going to ask this. Watching that Cardoso talking there, you who has business in Nigeria, those of you who are living in Nigeria, facing this old hardship, looking for answer, and these are the guys in charge. It is what they do that will either make or mar the economy of Nigeria even further. These are not just people talking. These are those who determines the value of that naira in your pocket. That guy is one of them. So when they talk, you have to listen. It's so unfortunate that the morons, the clowns, the criminals, somebody asked that, are they all stupid or they are just acting stupid? Listen to me. We have established that our brains, as critical, as important as a critical organ as it is, it starts working from the day we were born. 7 days, they say 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year until you join the APC. Because you have to be a criminal to be able to function well in a criminal environment. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. You must be a criminal. APC gives you opportunity to thrive as a criminal. And these guys are not stupid. They just want to continue to stupefy the whole country, confuse you, while the rest of the people paid to further attack and gaslight you will finish the job. They are not stupid. They are criminals. And thank God for the social media. Today, when they sneeze, we'll see it. When they pee, we'll see that. When they fart, we'll hear it. Now, hearing everything they do and exposing everything they do gives us a very big and good insight into all the causes of the problems in Nigeria and the people behind it. That's for social media. And that is too much for these clowns. It is too much for them to handle. Usually all they needed to do was to pay people, pay the media, and shut things down and continue to mislead the people. But social media became a big something that overwhelmed them. They are not stupid. They are criminals. Do you understand? So Cardoso is not just anybody. It's not just appointment. That is your central bank governor. How do you intend to bring down, how does your policies intend to bring down inflation and bring down the cost of living and all of these things? Because it is your job. Now, you are collaborating with Ministry of Finance, Ministry of this or that. Is that them talking about committees? Is that the caliber of people you are expecting to turn things around? Are those people they told you are working with Tinubu that are going to turn things around for you? And you believe them? I have more. Here. Further questions, so they are probing him. This time he's not reading it. And all they can do is like they have all received the same tutorial. Just make sure that whatever you are saying, keep dropping grammars, okay? Keep dropping big grammars. That will keep them confused. No, we are not confused. We can see through the old lies very, very clearly. Here is another one. They are still talking to him about Nigeria economy that is doing shege to all of you right now. Cardoso
is already showing. You see, the mere fact that I said that liquidity has gone up to $844 million as at yesterday is testimony to that. And I'm confident that we are headed in the right direction and these things will moderate and find their own level. The distortions in the foreign exchange market over a period of time has created, in my view, an artificially high rate. And now that we've removed most of those distortions, we see a situation where those who stayed out of the market are now coming back in, and the concept of willing buyer and willing seller is beginning to realize the objectives as they were set out for in the first place. So I have no doubt in my mind that on the foreign exchange side, we are headed in the right direction. I have no doubt about that in my mind.
I like the conviction on your face. Yeah, you're very sure what you're saying. That is what Nigerians need to see. And let me ask you, why is it that you've not initiated the engagement with the parliament as allowed by the CBN Act? You see why they are raising all their hands?
Yes.
It's because they have piled questions that have been unanswered because of that lack of engagement. Yes. Are you planning to activate that part of the act to periodically engage with the House to update them on what you are doing so that they will be carried along?
Yes. No, and to be frank, this is Mr. Speaker, this is an excellent observation. Let me say something though. this has been a particularly difficult few months where we had to really double down and understand what was going on, some of which is very complicated, and we had to take our time to unbundle a lot of things and try certain things, discard others, and some of the circulars that we brought out a number of circulars in the past week.
He's answering the question as to whether he will be interacting with you as allowed by the CBN Act. It is important that we hear him, honorable colleagues, please. Thank you.
And some of the circulars that we have brought out, they take a lot of time to come to a final stage, a lot of time. So there was not, put in one form, a lot of work has been work in progress. It has been work in progress. Now we have rolled them out, and we are very happy for the opportunity to be able to come and explain to the House how far we have gone and what the future pertains is. And as I said, to emphasize again, I'm very, very positive of the future in the foreign exchange market for Nigeria. And going forward, we will definitely use this opportunity to engage a lot better. And it's very important because our monetary policy committee, for example, our monetary policy, it is important to be able to communicate to the outside world what we are doing. And in that process, the House of Rep is a very critical voice that will be like an interlocutor between us and the people out in the constituencies. We recognize that, and we will do everything possible to make use of this particular body.
Thank you very much. There's a question that you have not addressed from Ali Madaki. He said there have been other CBN governors.
Yeah.
That you came and you are taking some part of the headquarters to Lagos. Is it a politically influenced decision or cost effectiveness strategic action?
Sure.
That people need to hear it. What is it about?
Yes.
Is it political so that they can educate their constituents?
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. To answer, quite frankly, nothing political about it. Let me be upfront about that. Absolutely nothing political about it. The central bank.
Let's leave that. We are not interested in that. But just for the discerning minds watching this broadcast, what Cardoso is talking about, trying some policies, discarding out others, is pretty much in contrast to what they told you. Kolu that has been preparing to be president for 30 years. So here is their central bank governor saying they have been doing trial and error with monetary policies, which has continued to kill businesses in Nigeria. And then is now saying they figure out another one that is so positive that in the future, the problem of Forex are going to be out of the picture. Nigerians who have Forex, blah, 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 blah. And he pointed at and announced $825 million. They said they have managed to cough out or scrap out of the banks when they told them never to pay out in dollars anymore. I told you that they denied the policy, Abi, but it is already served on the banks, and they are expecting, according to their projection, at least $800 million cash from that this February. Now, gambling, oh, you get, However, is banking on Nigeria's sufficiency on Forex on something he never mentioned there, but I'll tell you. That's part of it. They said, all of you have a domiciliary account in Nigeria. They are coming for your money. All of us in the diaspora, they want us to send money through them. In fact, they would like us to send money and send the money for free, like no charges. So that all the money you want to send to Nigeria, they are targeting just 10% of it. They are telling themselves that they don't have to get greedy. If Nigerians they are remitting over 30 billion, over $40 billion into Nigeria from all over the world, if they can just get 10% of that, $4 billion a year for a start, then Nigeria can count on a dependable forex. What do you call them in Nigeria? This was the gamblers. They were using you to play, they are using your future to play 2 sure, 3 sure. And the moment they couldn't get 1% of our money from the diaspora, the expectation was not. There is no real planned investment in the real sector, power sector, infrastructure, industry. The industries that needs maybe some subsidy bailing out to keep jobs. They are not doing anything about that. They are counting on the monies that are in the air, the one they can scrap from anywhere in the air. And that's what they are banking on. And that is what your central bank governor is very positive about that. The issue of dollars, and I will go soft soon. And they floated your Naira. They said Naira will find this level. Omitigbe Naira low. But with Cardoso, no real production in Nigeria. No improvement in power supply or generation in Nigeria. But Cardoso believed that Odo to Gbe Naira law can also bring Naira back. And he is very sure. One for life in Tagambu. And you are arguing with me. Because you believe that he knows what he is saying. Because the problem, in 6 months' time, one of your videos will come to me like this.
I'm not happy with my president. I'm regretting for voting for my president and for voting for APC. Because this is not what we voted for. You know, we are not voting for, we're not voted for suffering. We voted for peace, tranquility, and for to alleviate poverty. Let me tell you, if he and his planners are giving reduced fuel price, it will reach common man on the street rather than giving it to private sector who are already belleful. They are going to share this money, no doubt about it. What do we gain for the past 7 months? We voted for President Tinubu in Milokan. I'm a Yoruba man. I regretted for voting for him because this is not what we bargained for. I'm also a retired director. I'm telling you, a retired director collecting 75,000 naira at federal. You have 5 children or 4 children. How will you cope? Nothing for retirees. We are still suffering. They are telling us that we should manage. The vice president said we should pay APC for 10 years. So until all Nigerians die finish before they can resuscitate us. Let's call spade a spade. This government is not doing well. Thank you. I'm not happy with my.
In 6 months' time, you're going to come here. If not you, your parents. When you continue to believe the jargons coming out of these opportunists, pickpockets, bunch of old criminals in suits and babariga. There's another one. No, don't get annoyed. I just want to have it on record. They ask him for that questions. Central Bank Governor of Nigeria. People where they give you hope. Say everything go dey okay. Now only enemies of Tinubu are the ones at work. They should. If you want to criticize government, you have to criticize it constructively. Babashe Onga where they wire you. They wire you constructively. The cost of living crisis that you are facing in Nigeria today, is that one dealing with you constructively? Then they beat you. They can't tell you how to cry. You know, say if people and you want to obey that, that they beat you, can't they tell you how to cry? And you they obey that, and then call you slave. You they get mad. People are nice to you, calling you slave. Oh, I'm so serious. Some slaves, like slaves back then, as much as they didn't have any much right? But they say had right to life. You won't believe it. A slave was like as horrible as that is part of our history. A slave's value is his or her life. If a slave dies, it's a loss to the owner. So a slave owner values the life of their slave back then. The Nigerian criminals that are treating you, unleashing this level of slavery on you and forcing it on you to accept it, or you'll be punished. Accept what they told you, or you'll be punished. They do not have any value for your life. You know that. You are just numbers, statistics to them. You know? But we'll come back to that. Let it be on record. Kadiho, Kadibi, Kadobi, Kadoso.
Of that is based in Lagos by virtue of the fact that the banks are in Lagos. Like now, we had a situation where there's need to increase the surveillance on the banking system, especially at a time like this. And it is just appropriate that the banking supervision department is close to where the banking system is. And it works very well, extremely well. For example, I can tell you that I flew out to Lagos just for one day yesterday to talk to the banking supervision department as they were about to commence the process of visiting the banks, and give them a pep talk as to the things to bear in mind as they commence that process. And to be honest, I think in terms of relationships, it also works very well, because where they are closer to the banks, they get to hear what is going on, they can interact with others that interact with those banks and be better for it. So from that perspective, I think that explains that.
So that is on the basis of efficiency, yeah?
Yes.
Mr. Speaker. All right.
Cheaper. And it's cheaper.
All right. No point of order when he's speaking. We have a guest. It's not your standard plenary section. We have a guest. No point of order when the guest is addressing us. So round up, Honorable Governor,
right,
please.
Okay. Well, I think
you've touched on all the issues.
Yes, I think there was an issue of dollar. Well, that's been. There's a very important issue that came up, which may slightly relate to what I just said. Why is central bank reluctant to wield the big stick on banks? I want to assure you that I have no reluctance to wield the big stick on anybody that we regulate. I have none. I have absolutely none. This is the time when people and entities that we regulate must comply. They must do the right thing. And we will stop at nothing in wielding the big hammer, the big stick, whatever we want to call it, but ensuring that they do the right thing and that they work in the interests of Nigeria.
So what you are saying is that the unreasonable deductions will be stopped.
Unreasonable deductions
from the account. That's the question they asked. No. They said Sunday deduction.
Yes.
Gentleman, an honorable colleague asked the question here.
Yes.
Sunday deduction. That was the word he used. Yeah, yes. That is honorable. Let's see.
No, you did.
Are you saying if they are unreasonable deduction that the central bank is going to see that will stop that?
Definitely.
Nigerians would like to hear that.
No, definitely. There's a process, and once it's brought to our attention, we investigate it, and we will come down on any of the erring banks. We are definitely going to do that. In fact, some of our departments in the central bank are being strengthened to be able to carry out greater surveillance and oversight on the banks.
Thank you. I think we'll leave it at that. Governor of the Central Bank. Thank you very much. He missed out something? Use your mic. I want to hear you. He missed out something?
On the lifting of foreign exchange restriction.
Oh, yes.
Imposed by the previous administration in order to improve local production, but suddenly they lifted it, and I don't know who is going to give this middlemen, I'll call them middlemen because we know them, to import cement that BOA is doing, Dangote is doing, and we are a net exporter of cement in this country. And then we are given foreign exchange to people to import cement and meat and poultry. Of course, it is here.
Okay. I think the summary of what Honorable Sada is saying.
So
what measures are being taken to address exchange rate volatility and its impact on imported inflation? Are we importing inflation by that particular act?
Well,
address it the way you feel comfortable.
Yes. No. I think the first thing that I would say, and I think it's very
order, please, order in the house.
I think it's very important to understand that central bank does not have responsibility to determine who imports and who does not import. It's not our remit. It is not. And for that reason, we want to ensure that we abide by our remit. Okay, and if there's an issue with respect to who can import and who can't import, those are all trade issues. They do not. It's not for us to now say.
I think it's not more of who can import it. What should be imported and what should not. I think that's what Honorable Sada is saying.
Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking from the strength. I'm speaking from the strength of knowledge. This is from the.
Anyway, thanks for watching that, by the way. I just want to have it on record. Now that you spent the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, listening to the people that are in charge of your ruined economy, reeling out their inefficiency and then incompetency on your screen, would you still feel comfortable and tell people to give them time? The more time you give to them, the more ruins they will bring upon you. I promise you that. And they are doing it well. At least they are unbothered. Put up some show and all of that stuff, and that's it. Nigeria economy is going down. Nigerian banks are declaring profits. Do you even know where they are getting that from? Nigerian banks won't give you their loans to run any business per se, but they will give those money to their lawmakers in Abuja to buy cars, build houses, and the rest of that because they are sure that they will make more money from them. And then they were declaring profit because they are picking your pockets every Sunday. When they send you all those text messages that you never subscribed for. And they are declaring billions and billions and all of that stuff. And yet, the economy they are declaring profit from, the people there continue to drench in poverty. They were kind of being drenched in it. And now they're like, it is called voodoo economy. Voodoo economy. And no wonder that people took to the streets when they said they have banned the sale of sachet alcohol. Since that is what majority are trying, those who have been affected by the Shege Pro Max, you will say, the multiverse of Shege. They had to take to the streets. Somebody said that if you want Nigerians to protest, ban something they like. You understand? But here you are. You have people who have the energy, labor they call them, protesting the ban on sachet alcohol. Here, I don't know if you have seen it too. But I'm coming back to that of this.
DJ, give us some music before we talk again. Music. DJ, play the music before we talk again.
Don't take our alcohol. Don't take our alcohol. You can take everything. Don't touch our alcohol. Just like the women in River State. As everybody is complaining about the economy, now knocking, they are complaining. They said the men are so bothered. Things have affected the men in River State that they don't get time to knock and all that. They said it themselves. We want knocking. We want knock. We want knock. I said, you see, on serious people. Jesus wept. No wonder that APC had the audacity to tell you that all of you and your complaints are being fueled by the opposition. Things are not really as bad as they are making you feel like. And therefore, all the protests that are currently springing up everywhere now, Kogi women are protesting. People of Kogi are protesting. They are protesting for the hardship that they are facing. They are not protesting against Yeye Bello. Yeye Bello that is currently being charged for stealing by EFCC for stealing 80 billion naira from Kogi Pos when he was governor. His own his own nephew, I heard, right, is now the chief of staff to the stooge that he appointed as governor in that place. Kogi people no go face and say, give us our 80 billion. We are hungry. But yes, they are protesting too. But according to APC, all these protests here and there, now the opposition, they cause them. Instead of you protesting, Atiku and Obi, why can't you just offer Tinubu ideas on how to fix the economy? Why don't you just offer him ideas on how to, keep the country safe? Instead of criticizing him, politicizing the problem of the people. Baba, APC, yeah, where they go. APC said that opposition in Nigeria, they are politicizing the hardship in Nigeria. Instead of them to be offering advice to Tinubu, person where they told you has been preparing for 30 years. You don't prepare for the past 30 years, Abi. Listen to this Olori Buruku, because that's what I see them as.
To fix the challenges that we face. Yeah. And it must be done with that level of altruism and patriotism. The time for electioneering is over. So any opposition leader today who is simply, saying, oh, people protested in Niger and come out with, a billboard that the economy is, that is completely disingenuous.
Yeah, but they said
it's not helping.
It's
not helping anybody.
When President Tinubu was in the opposition, sometime around 2012, he actually led some of the protests against the removal of fuel subsidy. So he's a master strategist when it comes to disrupting other people's government. And so he's been paid back in his own coin.
No,
what will you say about that?
No, but again, I don't agree. I don't agree. And if that's what the current opposition is doing, they need to desist. Because that's not serving the interest of Nigeria.
Well, in 2012, we had this issue everywhere. And we're just hoping that the President Tinubu knew all of this. And he, along with your party, promised Nigerians that they actually have the capacity to tackle this country's problems. And that's why they went to the polls and Nigerians elected them.
You mean APC and the president promised to do so in 10 months?
Well, of course.
President
Tinubu knew the problems.
Nobody promised.
And that aspect of the economy is his strongest point. I mean, yeah, for insecurity, yes, people may say he's not a former military general like Buhari and all of that. But for the economy, President Tinubu consistently, while campaigning, says he knows how to unlock the economy. And
that's exactly what he's doing, Sambo. Unlocking the economy is not the same as putting a key in your keyhole and turning the key and opening your door. Unlocking the economy is a programmatic, endeavor that calls into question factors that are within and outside of your control. When the president said that he is going to turn the economy around, he meant business. And that's what he's doing. My point is that in doing so, that there are some transient, inevitable consequences, which are highly regretted. Somebody, I'm sitting here. Actually, you know, it's difficult for me. I must, you know, confess.
Yeah, but everybody's feeling the pinch.
Everybody's feeling the pinch,
including your party members.
Everybody's feeling the pinch, including my family, including, you know, everybody, everywhere. But you know, my attitude, my outlook is that I understand that this is for the time being, until these policies begin to yield the kind of results that will nullify and cancel this transient, you know, negative impact that we're feeling. Today at the National Assembly, you saw what happened. All of the key, you know, managers of the economy were there and testified. And the outlook that they presented was a positive one. It was not a gloomy one. As a matter of fact, the CBN governor was, you know, said categorically, even the coordinating minister of the economy also said that, you know, soon and very soon, the impact of these interventions will begin to, you know, manifestly be self-evident. And I think that's what we need to think about. And, you know, so my sympathy for the time being is with our people. Look,
somebody's papa on national television decided to begin to receive all the curses from the people who are the victims of the failed policies of Tinubu. And when he was reminded that Tinubu was also in opposition, and this was what he did too, thinking he was trying to fight for Nigerians. So how come it was but they have to do it in the clinical? You heard him, Sha? These are the useless, supposed older people that we call us. They would say we don't have respect. You are insulting our intelligence right in front of us. And you are so loud and confident, being so stupid. And you still had the audacity to demand for respect? How could anybody in that shoe of that criminal, the man that has been paid peanut from the crumbs that is falling from their tables, and he put himself in front of a camera, and he was lying that he himself felt like he was acting stupid? But you cannot shame the shameless, man. Such person will now say, I no get respect. You no have respect. You lack home training. Baba, who be that man's papa? Who be him mama? That man that you just watched right now. Is that how he was raised? Even at the audacity. I mean, come on, man. I actually had to share with you what those they told you are working hard. Handling your economy, what they had to say. I just shared that with you right now. Do you have any confidence in those clowns? Of course you don't. But the worst of all those old haggard criminals in suits is what that other clown that you saw on your screen right now took to the TV to brag about and then gaslight everybody. You know they are working hard. Things are tough. Una don't empty the jar. There is nothing left to steal from Nigeria again. You have to create your own corruption to steal. Take a look at this. Nigeria is not an exporter of lithium, but officially. But tons and tons and tons of lithium are being extracted across Nigeria and loaded out of Nigeria. Once in a while, the news will say, smugglers were arrested. Illegal miners arrested. What about those ones they did not? Well, so when people like that now say they are relying on the words of all those clowns to gaslight you, to keep you quiet, never keep quiet. My sister, do you have any Yoruba that I can manage quickly? Just me do this way. Please give me one.
Association of Emilokon, Ebobi, Orokoin. Tora abẹ̀yìn arọ̀yìn a ní kò ń ṣe pé kò wà wá náà kí yóò bá wà ń bẹ ṣùgbọ́n lásìkò iṣẹ́ ẹni tó lè ṣe òní ẹjẹ́ àgbẹ̀ fún ẹni rárá o ẹgbẹ́ kìíní ìwá o Yorùbá lọ́kàn àwa lọ́kàn o àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń japa torí pé ìlú ò fara rọ ẹ̀yin inú Ọlọ́run àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ rọjú tẹ́ pariwo èmi lọ́kàn tẹ́ wá dákẹ́ nígbà tí ìlú ò fara rọ wàláì súnmọ́ bí láì ọkàn yín ò ní balẹ̀ Apollo lásán ló mú mi tọmọtọmọ 36,000 naira ni mo fi ra oògùn lásán lórí Apollo ní àárọ̀ yìí Ampiclox Bicham 9,000 naira ní tọmọdé kò mọ oògùn ojú àwa mẹ́ta ní nǹkan ìmú oògùn ojú ẹyọ kọ̀ọ̀kan cost 2008 kò mọ àwọn oògùn tó kù ìbéèrè mi ni wípé táwa bá tiẹ̀ lè afford ẹ̀ ta lè rà àwọn tí ò lè afford ẹ̀ ńkọ́ ìlú dẹ̀ ń rí báyìí lọ ogun yín dẹ̀ gbẹnu òfò dání energy tẹ fi ń pariwo èmi ló kọ̀ ẹ̀ lè fi sọ̀rọ̀ nísìnyí tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ti di fọ́pọ̀ mọ́yọ̀ ráìsì ti di 60,000 lọ́jà òróró ní pé kí ló ṣubú tóun iyọ̀ lásán gan kò ṣe rà tó bá ní 20,000 naira lọ́wọ́ ò lè ṣe ọbẹ̀ ọ̀sẹ̀ kan níbo kí ló fẹ́ fi sè kí ló fẹ́ fi kún ẹ̀dẹ̀ dákẹ́ gbogbo yín wò torí pé tẹríbàjẹ́ ò kàn mí gbogbo ẹ̀dá tó bá ti ní tẹríbàjẹ́ ò kàn mí níjọ́ tó bá máa kàn yín báyìí á kàn yín ju bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe lérò lọ àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tá a dìbò fún tí kálukú ṣe wàhálà ẹ lọ gba PVC o ẹ lọ gbàgbà tá a ṣe wàhálà tá a fi dìbò tẹ wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní mẹ̀kúnnù lára wà láìtàlá ẹ̀yin inú ọlọ́run á ní gbogbo yín lára látàyè ìdálùkì àmọ́ ni kí ló dé gan náà you can like a layman cannot even afford to a living orí lásán ní Nàìjíríà wàhálà ni paracetamol is now almost 1,000 naira so orí ò tún gbọdọ̀ fọyọ̀ lásán Apollo lásán ni mo ná 36,000 naira sí láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù ẹ̀yin inú ọlọ́run o ó kù yín ó kọ́ lọ.
That's one person who had to express how the Emilokan Shege has affected her, and she could not keep quiet. She had Apollo, you saw this Apollo your hire, and they had to, as a family, they had to go and procure medication, and she spent 36,000 naira just to treat her eye, like to, you know what I mean, and the children as well. And she said, majority of you who had so much energy shouting Emilokan, Emilokan, some of you have now jackpot. I mean, few of you have managed to jackpot. Now you're outside Nigeria. You are now watching. It's none of your business anymore until the next time they put poster out. Okay? And she said, their mind will not rest wherever you find yourself, because a lot of you have now kept, I mean, you have now keeping quiet. She's very angry, and you know what I mean? Emilokan, Emilokan, Iyalokan, Iyalokan. So thank you very much for coming through. Here is another one to see the reality on the street too. My brothers and sisters, anything where you see, make you shop. Things are so tough right now, Baba. Even if you say you won't kill yourself, that one too is expensive. Imagine you go to the market, you want to buy gari, and they say a cup of gari is now 1,000 naira. And you're like, what about pure water? What about this and all of that stuff, right? And then you realize that, okay, sorry, you go to the market. Let's start with it. You go to the market and you're like, you want to buy fish. And you see that it's so expensive you can't. And they feel like, okay, maybe I should just buy rice and make some concoction, jollof rice, okay? And then you realize that you cannot afford that. Then you ask them for gari. They say, you realize that you cannot afford gari. Now you are tired of everything. You are tired of everything. This country you are tired. I'm going to kill myself. I'm just going to actually kill myself and all of that stuff. And what will happen? Go buy rope. Now where you go, say you won't buy rope to hang yourself. When they give you the price of rope, that's when you realize that sometimes it is cheaper to be alive than to die safe. Even in Nigeria right now, it is not cheap to die. If you buy poison, because if you go buy any cheaper poison, you are just drinking Lucozade inside Otapia Piao. If you have to buy original poison right now, when they give you the price safe, you will change your mind from suicide. If you want to buy original rope, if they give you the price today, you realize that it's even expensive to die. So in this situation in Nigeria, everybody don't enter them. I beg you understand this. When you see that, you see, sometimes they will tell you, in fact, it's not even tell you. Most of the time, we always had this prayer back then when I was in Nigeria. I don't know if you still pray that way now, because the situation is different, okay? When I was in Nigeria, we used to pray, Heavenly Father, please come and bless us. Please come and provide for us. Please come and protect us. Heavenly Father, don't let us get to a situation whereby we would have to beg food from our enemies. Heavenly Father, please don't let me beg food from my enemy. But if your enemy, you see, in situation in Nigeria right now, your friends are not cooking. Anywhere where you see food, chop am new. If now your enemy they cook, you would have to make friends with them. It is true. Because in some places, now from dream then they chop dinner. Say, brother, wait till you go chop for your own dream this evening. I say, well, I'm thinking of KFC, but I don't like their chicken. Their chicken is not done sometimes. So I'm thinking of, why don't we just go and eat local? What about amala? I don't know. I don't know which amala joint I can go to in my dream. Because some people have developed technique that, you see, in your dream, you can eat for free. You don't have to pay. You can enter anywhere. You can even live a rich life in your dream. Sure you get, you don't have to worry. You don't have to pay for anything. You can commit crime in your dream. You don't have to worry. Because the moment they want to catch you or arrest you, just wake up. That's it. And that's not a joke. I'm very serious that, people do have that conversation. Be very careful of what you eat in your dream. Oh. It's just that most cases you just realize that those who eat in their dreams, like those who take that serious, are those that have been, for health and safety, they are not allowed to sleep with pillows. Because most of the time when you are eating a big loaf of bread, it's actually your pillow you are eating. In your dream, you are eating a loaf of bread. By the time you wake up, half of your pillow is gone. So for health and safety reason, people who eat in their dreams are not allowed to use their pillow. And that situation in Nigeria is psychological. You just program your mind. That's the level of coping mechanism of so many people adjusting to the hardship in their own way. Some of them are unbelievable. You'll be like, that's impossible. Well, privileged man, you have no idea your privilege, Abi. Child, continue to enjoy it, okay? If you meet the real people, if they tell you how they feel, believe them, it doesn't mean that they won't do it again. Here.
Tinubu. Onwuyemfo kita owutem as in afomia nda Hausa obi gbaliem. Ahencha bukwa mmadu agodi n'obodo a. Onwuyenchi igosi gi. Just watch ya now. Alpha. Nauni. Nakwana. Hey. Roma. Come. Come. Bring that in. Negodu popo na achalacha. Bring that knife. Neya. Popo na achalacha. Kafana ata. As in, opo adiro. Popo we no ripe. Kafa jimwa na bewasia ya na azo. Kama fa yezu oshi. If for how you to see us suffer. If you ever under mother now for the people na suffer no boda. Ona accord the kwa, ona accord the ebenine. No to Sunday tatabu 5th 2024 February. Ona akafano na atia, ano kata abola apota. Onya apota ziazu oshima obubule egbe. Asino ya, ne ye mmadu na agabiga no boda. Come, I go give you now 20,000. Me wanna take buy something. You hear me? I go give you 20,000. Onye nke a na go di yen na-ekwu. For what ali yen na-ekwu. Where did they do POS? Outside. Okay, give one katubolo guy. Kunu fu ebe Nigeria dobe mmadu. Oni angwa na menye fe ego fe. For what ali awo. Bako wanu be me no fia. Ona angwa fa na me fe 20k. For what area fe believe ya.
I once told you here that, of course, we talk about the poverty and the poor people and how they are suffering and all that. But a lot of us are not paying attention to the demography that is more affected by the poverty, increasing poverty, lack of opportunity, including education in Nigeria. The demography that is more affected are the young people. Nigeria has the largest number of young people in the world. 70% of Nigeria population is considered to be people of the age between 0 and 30. That's people under 30. They are the largest. 70% of Nigeria population. So when they tell you 145 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty, go and take a look at that number. Young people. Those kids were seen by that guy, the Hausa or Northerner, he presume, and then they were eating unripe pawpaw early in the morning. Possibly also waiting for anybody who might want to hire them for any menial job so that they could then possibly go and hit whatever that could buy them. So that guy saw them from far. Maybe he turned back, but I would pick on the message. You saw that picture? You saw their faces? They are the largest number of people affected by bad governance in Nigeria, failed government in Nigeria, and they are the keg of gunpowder. In fact, they are the gunpowder inside that famous keg that they said Nigeria is sitting on. Nigeria sitting on a keg of gunpowder. You see those children? They are everywhere. Yoruba land, Igbo land, Hausa land, Fulani land. They are everywhere. And they continue to grow due to the failure of these rogues that continue to give themselves, claps because they can speak good grammar. Why they ferry your money, your commonwealth off. They are the gunpowder inside that cake that Nigeria is sitting on. But give it time. Just give it time.
Tinubu, they are doing a bad thing for us. God is not with this government.
Ebi ti pọ̀ jù nígbà tán láwa ló kàn à ń ra rice in 24,000 àló hàn ní ìsìn àwa ń ra àpò kan ní 68,000. Bọ́kọ̀ yàrá bá alábùjá ẹ máa wọ aṣọ òdì lọ́bà wọn ni o ìnira yìí pọ̀ jù o.
Láti Monday ti Sunday ni mo fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. Ẹ wọlé ìbéèrè 2,000 naira lọ́wọ́ mi inú ilé kiri kó jáde. Router wise mo rà ní 1,008 tẹ́lẹ̀. Lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tí mo ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí mo rà ní 3,200 naira. Sípàsípà ni màá fi rí tàn 3,300. Ẹ wá sọ fún mi 100 naira mélòó ni mo fẹ́ ṣàjọ lójúmọ́. Kémi tó wá jẹun kí tó fáwọn ọmọ mi lóúnjẹ.
Kọ́ ṣàánú wa àwa single mother kẹ́tì ẹ̀wọ́ tàwa single mother àwa tá a lọ́kọ tí ò sẹ́ni kankan tẹ́ gbà wá nìkan là ń gbọ́ bùkátà lórí ọmọ lọ sùn àmọ́ sanwó ilé àmọ́ sanwó ná tó fẹ́ pa wá ní apatẹ́sọ̀ ti fẹ́ pọ̀ ní kálukú kà má ní ìjà rẹ̀ ni.
ká má ṣẹlẹ̀ yà lóko o ìrẹsì ò ṣe é jẹ ẹja kò tí ò ṣe é ra ẹja pala kò sẹ́ni rà tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ṣe é rà rárá ṣètìgbọ́ 32,000 pàdé kan epo ò ṣe é ra gbogbo nǹkan ò ṣe é ra gbogbo ẹ̀ wá di gbogbo kí ló dé àkọ́ má pa wọ́n náà gbogbo ẹlẹ́sà lọ dìbò fún wọn kí ló dé. kábàá ṣíbàdà kí dọ́là wọlé kí gbogbo nǹkan wọlé kábàá ṣíbàdà káwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ kọ́kọ́ lójú ọ̀nà ká máa gbé ráìsì wọlé ká máa lọ bó ṣe ń wà.
Tinubu, they are doing a bad thing.
Let the poor breathe. Don't suffocate them. We have that responsibility.
People are going through it. And it is serious. And they haven't really been provoked enough to probably take it out. And that is why the man that has been in France for the past 2 weeks, why you are being kidnapped, killed, and then, starved, he returned back with the same people he went to France with. Nigeria government parked the Nigerian presidential jet in France, paying the parking fee like Bokwari was doing back then. They won't pay the French authority in Naira. They will either pay them in euro or dollars. And when they are talking about the pressure on your Naira, and you are looking for the culprits that they will never mention, okay? These are the guys. Those who went with Tinubu on their way to France, they had to form the guard of honor with a red carpet for Tinubu. Now they spent 2 weeks in France on the expense of Nigerians. Those who are crying, after 2 weeks of that enjoyment, he returned back to Nigeria last night. The same clowns, clowning. They were forming guard of honor. How could you form guard of honor for somebody you have been with for the past 2 weeks? Una just came back together. Then all of you will come down from the plane, and then you will line the right side, and then you can say, "Welcome, sir." But where the wicked was there too. This was last night. You see, that they give red carpet to failure. And in the Agbadomite that will one day make a video that I'm going to use here, is telling me it pain you, Maiyegun. I know say it's paining you. That is why you are talking. And it go pain you for the next 8 years. Tinubu will be doing it. If you want to cry for it. Baba, Amy cry. Oh, sure. If no be say una they suffer for mental problem, you understand? It is pretty much like when we show to you your problem, the weapon fashioned against you, you turn around, create a different narrative, and begin to come after us. You call me names, you say a lot of things about me and all of that. I don't really care anyway, right? Then when the shege start touching you, and you begin to cry, and I started showing that, I say, I see people crying, This one don't they cry, this one don't they cry. Emake kunio. You begin to also like say, Maiyegun, at least you should not be mocking people. It's not good to be mocking people. Thank God for your own life that at least you are in a place that can work. That people did not listen to you does not mean that you should not be mocking them that they are dying. You know how many people you put in problems? You now turn around, you want to gaslight us to pity you. Not to talk about what you are going through that way. Not 8 years. Let me just and MaiyegunsDiary Politico will keep record of it every day. To survive, at least I will achieve one thing. To survive when if you survive this, by the end of it, your own children, they will never want to make the same mistake you make. Honestly speaking. So Kolu that now returned, never visited the victims of terror attacks. In some places, they have done so well to make sure their media never reported the whole attacks. Kolu after the red carpet. They told him, Nigerian army in call. They don't do Photoshop of Tinubu inside as a pilot. Pilot Kolu. Nigeria to finish. This was him last. This was Nigerian army presenting a fake Photoshop picture of Tinubu as a pilot when they can easily dress him as a pilot, take him next to any aircraft and take his picture, a perfect one, but they have to impose him there. They have to Photoshop him there. About this guy, they use fake bishop. They use fake childhood picture, Donald Duke picture. They use them as Tinubu as a young boy. And they no remove them. They publish it and they presented it to everybody. Shame no they catch them, right? But them sort of triggering the death and assassination of Titilokwe Arotile, the young lady killed inside the naval base in Kaduna, and her death remained mystery. It's ridiculous, Abi. The same Nigerian army, Nigerian Air Force, they had to Photoshop the deranged, demented, sick, druggy Kolu. Oh, shame, Abi. May I show you an example of a shameless people from a shameless contraption.
I remember the prophecy of Prophet Nnamdi Kanu. It shall come to pass when Somalia disaster shall be seen as a paradise, compared to the calamity coming upon Nigeria. I pledge to Nigeria with all my nya.
I'm going to call you the pilot, Nisha. I'll show you now. Here. Let's say call you a pilot. But I will call now, even, oh, come on, man. Nigeria, the giant of Africa. And you have rogues and despicable people, shameless miscreants in charge of power, and the entire country is on fire. The ladies who, I told you, women have started protesting in Kogi because of hardship. On your left are the women they have arrested in Mina, Suleja. They said these women organized the protests where people complained about hardship. They have arrested them and they said they are going to prosecute them. Protest is haram in Nigeria. Under Tinubu, it is a sin. So you know. So if you don't know what you are up against, I hope I have managed to help you enough to understand what you are dealing with. I'll do it again another time. However, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea. Then I'll come back and take some calls. That will then be up to you. If you have been with me all evening, at least so far so good, like the broadcast, share it, pick up your phone if you really want to call in and contribute as well. Okay? I will be back. Thank you so much, everyone. My line is now opened and I have my first caller on the line. I hope I still have you there, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, I'm still here.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good day, Maiyegun. Good evening.
Yes,
I'm calling from America.
Great,
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you,
long life and prosperity. Amen. The Lord will be with you. The Lord will continue to progress you. Say hi to the family. I've been listening to your program for a very long time, and this is my first time as a caller.
God bless you. That finally we are talking. Thank you so much, ma'am, for everything. Please.
You're welcome. Yeah, you say Nigerian, I don't know what we can do to that country because this is the way Nigeria have been. I left Nigeria in 2000. During the Obasanjo, I think the time he was about to be in office or whatever.
That's almost
But
like 25, almost
I've
25
never,
years ago.
yes. And I don't see all these things that is happening in Nigeria. there is nothing that is new. My father was a politician before he died about 10 years ago. And all these things have been happening. Even when I was in Nigeria, I have, police have kidnapped me.
Wow.
Soldier wanted to kidnap me along Adebayo Market in Bariga, because I live in Bariga. And also, during the time before I came, there is this thing they do in Nigeria, like a vigilante, where when you go to work, you come back, and the whole street will be out, burning tire, and be watching over their street. So all these things are not new. So I always tell people, Nigeria, I don't think there's a remedy for Nigeria. I'm not really sure if there's a remedy, because everything continues. I always joke with my husband. I said, the first day they born me in that Nigeria, there was no light. And my husband would say, how do you know? I said, because when we start growing, there's no light. Except if you want to lie to ourselves. But for all these politicians, I don't know what we can do to them. Because these people, they have something different in mind than what we plan for Nigeria. Every blessed day, I'm not earning more than what I'm earning, but I have to send money to Nigeria to help people. It's not. I don't know. I don't know, because when they say Yoruba nation, I know Biafra are stronger than Yoruba nation. When they say Yoruba nation, I don't know who will be in that Yoruba nation. Is it not all these crazy people that we have? They are still the same thing that will be in Yoruba nation. So for praying, I don't know if God is tired of all this prayer.
You know one thing, ma'am, I can understand, your sort of concern based on experience so far. Because if we have our own independent Yoruba nation, for example, okay, all the criminals we know today, they will not automatically become, you can't say they are no longer Yorubas. They are still going to be Yorubas themselves. But one thing I want you to know is that everyone believing that if for example, the Yoruba region gets their own independence government, or even sovereign, autonomous region, kind of like autonomous region, right? I want you to believe that any action that will lead to that would have been actions that would have consumed majority of those you are seeing today. You will not see them again. Action, because if we sit down now and say, let me put it this way, let's say the same people we are talking about today turn around tomorrow and they start talking about the breakup of Nigeria. That automatically gives the control over what will happen to them. Now I will be concerned. I will say, oh, all these years, now they have decided to come and do Yoruba nation so that they can control the Yoruba nation. Then I'll be concerned like you. But do you know why I'm not worried? Is that because they are part of the system that is going to go into extinct. You see, they are part of the system that will be destroyed for other new nations to emerge. So when those new nations are emerging, right? You see all these ones you see today, and every of their offsprings, they would have been consumed or neutralized. You will not see them in any new nations that will emerge from Nigeria. I can promise you that. So do not worry. Journey that will lead us to that, all of us will see it. And one by one, you will see to their destruction. We will see to their destruction. And they will never post any threats. Yeah, they will never post any threats. Autonomous regions. So relax, man. They are digging their own graves too. Because you know something?
Yes, I know.
All the actions they are taking right now, they are leading people to a point where people probably never wanted to go. And if they lead them there, the turnaround and the consequences can best be imagined. It may be delayed, though, but it won't be denied, except they stop. The only thing that will reduce any revolution that is coming to Nigeria from it happening is if these guys can stop this madness, even if it's just for 1 year. Stop the stealing, stop all the impunity, stop all of this whole thing, just for 1 year. focus on the country and give to the country. That's the only way the whole thing will not happen. No.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
but I'm not sure if these people are going to do that.
They won't. They will never do it. They are so comfortable in what they are doing.
Yes.
In fact, they are so convinced that Nigerians will only make noise. Nothing will happen. It's all noise.
Yes. Yes.
Then we'll wait and see, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Maiyegun, thank you very much. It's nice talking to you.
It's a pleasure, man. You didn't give me your name. I would have loved that, but for me, for some reason.
My name is Fumi Morgan.
God bless
check
you.
Check your stuff. You will see my name there.
I didn't want to say it out. You know, sometimes it could really.
Okay.
If you didn't say it, and I'm saying it, you'll be like, oh, that's me, like, you know. But thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have a lady Morgan.
You're welcome.
On our list. Yes. Talking to you, ma'am.
Yes.
You have a good one.
Nice talking to you too.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.
And you
Thanks.
too. Yes, ma'am.
Bye.
So there we have our lady, Lady Morgan.
Nice talking to you.
I won't forget that. So next time I speak to her now, I'll be like, yeah, I remember you. I have another caller, by the way. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Maiyegun.
Oh, is that Charm?
It's Charm.
It is our lady. Lady Charm. Now it's going to be the ladies' night. I'm feeling it already, right? And
I don't think so.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm sure there'll be other
you don't understand the feeling. You know, you see it. Just relax, right? By the time you put them ratio to ratio, you probably will get ratio 2 to 1 in favor of
men to women.
Ladies.
In favor of women. I've been trying to get a hold of you since
I saw that last night, but it was too late. You couldn't.
Oh no! Okay, yesterday, last night I was trying to get, get onto the show, but anyway, I felt like it was going to be kind of late, Anyway,
so
so sometimes when you ask us to call in, I just feel like we don't really have enough time to actually get into some details, right? Because a lot has been happening, and I've been trying to get a hold of you even since when Niger, Burkina Faso, and what's the other country?
When they pull out of ECOWAS. Have we not
when they pulled out of,
I think I've actually had a chat with you after that.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. I've told you that your life has been on fire.
It's been that long. That's like last week.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been quite a while, and I was going to say that, if it were me, right, ruling a country, I will not only pull out of ECOWAS, I'll pull out of African Union, every single organization you have in the world, African Union, United Nations, anyone that is, because none of them have served any kind of purpose or actually helped any African country to establish itself in any way, shape, or form. Africa has remained the same. The countries have remained the same, impoverished, subject to the so-called people that have the money and things like that. None of these organizations have helped in any African country actualizing itself, establishing itself as any kind of economic power. We're still poor when we join them, whilst we're in them, and even when we exit them. So I think it's brilliant that they actually left. But I would go a step further and actually exit from African Union, which doesn't help anybody, and the United Nations and any other world organization, because they're very useless to Africa as a whole. And let those countries then decide to do treaties and trade agreements and whatever one-to-one between them and different countries, because none of all these organizations is actually helping anybody. Now, today's broadcast, can you imagine? You elected a leader and you're looking for your opposition to tell you what to do. Are you okay? When you were getting into when you decided to run for president, you didn't think that you were going to come with your own economic plan or your own strategy for how to alleviate poverty or how to move the country from production, like Obi was saying, from consumption to production, to turn things around, to give. I mean, each state, each region actually has what can distinguish them and what can actually alleviate poverty,
right.
What can sustain them economically, right? Each region, if we decide to do it, right? The North, we don't really have to be reliant on or dependent on one sector, one geographical, like
income,
one region,
resource
one
to run a country.
because we have, there's so much that we can do. We can think inside the box and outside of the box. People talk about medical tourism. Nigerians are one of the most brilliant people. I would say it anywhere. We're one of the most brilliant people, and people know it, right? So even like I think countries like Malaysia and co that actually have like all these doctors that they train up, and then they put out there in other countries. So then the doctors are paying back into the government and things like that. I'm not sure if it's Malaysia, but
remittance.
But exactly, it's an investment, and things like that. So there's so much. So even if you say, okay, the country is landlocked, you don't have any, but you have people, and there's no better investment than in people. Right. Now, you as a political party or as a president who aspired to be president, you didn't think about anything. You didn't have any strategy. You said, you don't want to say your strategy because you're going to be the first person to talk, and other people.
I was actually going to put that up for you to, to further give credibility to your own position, but you've just mentioned it, Mr. Strategy. What happened to his strategy? Who stole it?
He had no strategy. And people talk about. I've heard people talk about Tinubu like, this is not the Tinubu of 10, 15 years ago. I said this man has always been a criminal. I don't know what people are talking about. We know this man. He was a criminal. He destroyed Lagos. He never built anything.
He never built any Lagos, man. God bless you, Charm, right? Somebody who built Lagos that has no drinking water. Baba,
no drinking water.
No stable electricity. That has no functional rail system. There has no functional transportation system. Nothing is really there. People made those things for themselves.
No public school, no public school that of renown that you say, okay, compete, with any other top school or anything in that state. Nothing. You did nothing. You plundered the state. The structure you put in the state was to structure the state into your pocket and your family's pocket, because there's nothing else that you're doing. You did nothing for that state. And
people knew, Cham. People knew all of this.
People still know.
A lot of people into what we are now seeing. People knew Tinubu.
I don't know. I mean, I know, like the previous caller called. We've talked extensively about how things are going to happen and how the dam is about to break. Things are going to happen, but sometimes I also look at Nigeria's capacity to absorb nonsense. Do you understand? It's like we have a high threshold for pain. Do you understand? So sometimes when I even see the things that are going on, I'm like, scientifically, you think that, okay, it's about time that something happens. But Nigerians' capacity for endurance is, I've never seen it anywhere else. By now, the streets should be burning. Don't you think so?
It's already starting, Charm. That's why APC is talking. They believe that it's the opposition that are encouraging people to eat the streets, not the hunger.
They are so stupid.
They are scared that it's going to spread. And I kind of feel like it's going to spread soon.
Well, let it spread. Even me, anybody that's watching football, let me just say, I'm praying that they will lose that match. Let them lose the match so that Nigerians can focus on the real problem, not football. Yes, that is what I want.
Let me so much. You have a good one, okay? So I like it. Somebody has already come in to try and then break the circle, and that would be my own prince there from Canada, the African Wahala. The African Wahala.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Baba?
Hello, my brother Maiyegun. I'm doing very well.
Amazing. So you are somebody who will never give me wrong info. You are one of the people I personally can take their word. So I'm going to ask you one thing. It is personal, okay? Now, we had some little improvements on the equipment in the studio, and I've been asking people to tell me how they feel. I'm going to ask you, and you're going to tell me right here now, okay? So tell me, how is the sound since you noticed that change? Personally, would you say it has improved, is balanced, or no? The African Wahala.
So do you mean the sound to the phone conversations or the sound to the presentation?
About the general output there while you are watching the program. How was the sound?
The sound was very good. If I'm honest, I didn't notice any change. Okay. It has always been good, and it still sounds good today after the equipment.
Well, brilliant. Thank you so much for that, okay? And a lot of people have said similar.
Yes, sir.
So I will take your word for it, and hopefully we'll keep improving on that. So the African Wahala is in a chat tonight, and the headline is that all of us who have ideas should give them to Tinubu to fix Nigeria economy, security, and every other problems, rather than just criticizing him. I bet you have something to add.
Yes, I mean, I definitely have something to add. It's not even about Tinubu or his supporters, because I've realized that as far as human beings are living together in a cluster, there are always going to be mad people that will choose death and darkness over life. So no matter how much, and this doesn't mean we should stop encouraging people to make the right decisions, but no matter how educated the people are to make the right decisions, they are still going to choose killers that will destroy their lives. It's just human psychology. When human beings are living together in a cluster, in a huge group, they often love being controlled. It's just human psychology, my brother.
Hard mentality.
Yes. And that's why we find professors, people that are so-called educated, they are running after these bunch of rogues that they all know that these people are rogues, but they still choose to follow these people. I mean, you might be baffled when you see certain people that you respect making certain decisions, but I also want you to understand that it's human psychology. I'm not a psychologist, but I know I know someone that has a PhD in psychology, and when we rub minds, he shows me certain traits and characteristics of human beings individually and in groups. But sorry that I digressed. All of that said, 2 points that I wanted to talk about. The first point, thank you so much for this great platform. You're giving me the opportunity to send my message to a demographic. I'm talking about the old people that are retired. Salutes to the good old people. But the same old people, I'm talking about those baby boomers that were given birth to prior to 1960 and earlier. We have them in our families. We have parents. Some of us still have parents. Some have uncles and aunties. During the time of the elections, I clashed with my uncles. I clashed with my aunties. They told me that you guys ran away abroad and you are the problem of this country because you're calling Tinubu a thief. Now, in the presentation today, that director, he showed us a director, that man with missing front teeth that was talking about, I retired as a director. They pay me 70,000 naira as my pension. This is not what we bargained for. I am a Yoruba and I voted for Tinubu, but this is not what I bargained for. Listen, older people, respect to you guys, the good ones. We love you. Salute to you. But I hope this is another evidence that you are not always right. The arrogance that some of you have when you're unable to listen to other people just because they are younger than you, and you feel like culturally they should be subservient. For that reason, you can never listen to their opinion. I hope now a lot of you are seeing the results of your choices. Because that old man, that retiree, a director, is maybe 65 years old. He gets paid 70,000 naira per month. 70,000 naira these days can't do nothing, unfortunately. But he has to deal with the consequences. And we have many of them in our families. I'm not going to mention names. Obviously, I have them in my family. I clashed with them. And maybe some of them might have come across MaiyegundsDiary Politico because I send them clips from time to time. Maybe they are listening and they know my voice. So they know who exactly is talking, the African Wahala. Please, your choices will continue to destroy not only your lives, but your future generations to come.
Including those.
Secondly, Cham said, yes, I'm so sorry I'm taking time. I'm going to spend one more minute.
Very brilliant sort of a points here. And I bet you a lot of them hearing you are listening attentively. Please go on. Please go on.
Thank you. Even the younger lady, that young bossy lady that was talking about the Yoruba lady that was saying stuff about, oh, we voted for Tinubu. Next thing we went to the market, they are chasing me in the market, telling me that, oh, why did you encourage us to vote for APC? Now APC has killed us. It's another evidence that you guys are not always right. You might think you're always right, but sometimes listen to other people. Even we that have this radical mindsets that are extremely angry, we might not be right all the time, but the least that we can do is sit down and have a conversation. But if you're trying to use religion, not even religion, if you're trying to use traditional cultural values to tell me that you're a boy, you people don't know anything. In 1955, the Igbos were killing us. You don't know? Then you're like a crackhead to me. I have no respect for you. People like me, we just look at you like a nuisance. We've lost respect for you, point blank and period. Now, Lady Cham said something that really, really got me happy. She said, if you are still supporting the Super Eagles against Bafana, my friend, you still didn't learn work. Me, people like me, right? I'm actively campaigning against Super Eagles, not because I hate those players. All the Nigerian Super Eagle players, salutes to them. They are my young brothers. But I can't support what you're representing. And what you're representing is creating an illusion of victory for the poor Nigeria.
Illusion of one country.
I'm telling you the truth.
And that.
Thank you very much.
Shouldn't continue.
It shouldn't. I love the young brothers that are playing for the Super Eagles individually. Some of them might be bad people. I don't know. But what they represent, I'm never going to represent that. So I will root for Congo. I will root for Ivory Coast. Whoever wins that match to beat Super Eagles. And if Super Eagles wins, whatever, it doesn't mean that your hunger is not going to stop. You're only going to enjoy some happiness for like 2 days.
Few hours.
You're only going to be deluded.
Few hours. The whole hysteria is just a few
You're just going to be deluded.
By the time everybody relax, the whole crowd disperse. You are on your own now. Then you can now face your reality from that moment.
Yes, back to the hunger, back to the Eben power. And finally, from Lady Cham's submission once again, she said something about the ECOWAS is completely useless. The African Union is completely useless. I 1000% agree. That's what these serious countries should do. Pull out of the ECOWAS, pull out of the African Union. And then when these individual countries have decided that this is what we want to do going forward, we want to have this type of countries. We don't want to be a part of these European created countries that have killed us and destroyed our lives for 100 years. We want to go forward. When we have those new countries, then we can come together again as a West African bloc or Central African bloc, East African bloc, Southern African bloc, whatever, and move forward. But what we currently have with the ECOWAS and African Union, completely useless. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Maiyegun General.
You know, Thierry, you never fail to deliver. I appreciate it, Prof. Thank you so much. And
Thank you, my brother.
Too, right? Nice one.
Right, and you.
That is the African Wahala. And for those who probably sell that, I mean, who usually, well, not people. I've had 1 or 2 people who said, the callers are just wasting time. Oh, you have not listened to some callers. There have been some callers that would love to, like when they talk, right? I just want to sit down here and just listen to them all night, all evening. Honestly, if I'm not timed, I will listen to them all evening. So yes, African Wahala is one of them. And I love every one of you who put in effort to call in and add your own opinion tonight. Here is another caller. Hello there.
Hello, Maiyegun. Good evening.
Hello, ma. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, ma'am. Thanks for asking.
From Dublin.
Oh, say that again. I bet that's you.
Adiola from Dublin.
Oh, bless you, ma'am. It's been a while, Mr. Adiola, ma.
Yeah, I have been trying to.
I can
you know now.
I know. So here we have a lady from Dublin, Lady Diola, and it's such a pleasure having you back, ma'am. So yeah.
Yes, happy birthday in arrears.
Thank you, ma'am.
In the mighty name of Jesus. We celebrate many more. You will live to declare the word of the Lord. God will build his edge of fire around you. Any standard that want to come against you, any evil that want to come against you,
of Jesus.
Against them.
God thank you very much for that.
Protect your family.
Amen. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So let's see what you also see to all of this. They are asking us to advise Tinubu instead of criticizing him. And if we have to do that objectively, constructively. But the shege that they have unleashed on us is not dealing with us constructively, ma. So here you have it.
Well, in as much as an advice is good.
Yes.
If you're advising somebody that is ready to listen to your advice, or that is, that has the political will to do what you have for that person, say, okay, do this, build factories, do this, do that, produce, stop consuming, it's fine. Our advice will be welcomed. But Tinubu is not in that category.
No, he's not.
Let me tell you something. I did my youth corps in Lagos. In Lagos.
Yes, ma'am.
In Alausa. I don't want to disclose too much information because some people might know.
Said enough, right? So just move on.
Tinubu closes every day. Tinubu closes at 4 a.m. every day with Aregbesola. 4 a.m. What do you think they are doing? Changing figures.
Perfecting
changing figures. It's Tinubu that taught his people how to add 0.0000 in front of figures. It was him. So that is all he knows. That is all they do. They are not there to all this clamoring that we are clamoring for. That is not who he is. That is not their job.
I told people.
So if you are saying you want to advise him, go and build production, go and bring forex. So his own is you bring the forex. Me, I'm swallowing it. That is their own. So what advice are they looking for? It's just mere talk.
It is.
It's just mere talk. So that's why I'm just laughing. Which advice? Who do you want to give the advice to? So from today to tomorrow.
Everybody who knows them know that the only thing they are good at is creating either agencies, either bodies, extorting agency or this, just to extort people.
That's why he made Lagos 2 LGAs now. That's why he created all that to get more money. To get more. That's it. So if you are saying you're advising, if you can advise him, divide Nigeria into 500, so that when you give them, then you take the one on top. That is the kind of advice he wants. Not like move from production to consumption to production, reduce forex, increase. That is not Tinubu's advice. You ask him to divide Nigeria into 500. When you now give them 1 billion, you take 500 million on top for yourself. That's his own advice.
Idea of somebody that sharing money to poor people, giving them food, will lift them out of poverty. Now that person
poverty. Can you imagine? The other time that guy was saying he has been living in Ibadan. This is way back now. That he has been living in Ibadan, and he was a senator for about 10 years or thereabout, and he's like 40 something. There hasn't been a single pipe of water ran across his house, his family house.
Wow.
No single pipe of running water
like that, man. You know what
I don't know.
I said, see, as much as we said Nigeria is completely it wasn't like properly set up. Okay, we can say it's just the creation of everything we have said about Nigeria. But if we come out clean and say, wait to, there are places they call the Yoruba place, Abi, in Nigeria, the Western region, right? Who are those who have been in charge of that Western region politically? Whether they are PDP or APC or AC or AD or ACN or whatever name they give to themselves. In the last 24 years, Yorubas have been representing Yorubas in this, representing Yoruba in this contraption, And Yorubas have been governors, they have been commissioners, they have been senators, they have been reps and all of that. 24 years,
Maiyegun. My other point that I was going to say is Nigeria is not a country. You and I know that.
I do.
It's not a country. As long as we have a situation where somebody will come up and say, No, I'm a Yoruba man. Why would an Igbo man do this? Why would an Hausa man do this? Is a Yoruba person. That is not a country. That is not a nation. All these people you are talking about that have been doing this for 24 years, for 36 years, they are not doing it alone. Once they move from chairman to governor, they go to governor to senator. They do everything with Hausa people. They do everything with Igbo people. They do everything with this and with that. What do you expect? The mindset is still there that, okay, it's Nigeria, but we have our Igbo brothers, we have our Hausa sisters, we have our. Do you understand?
I do.
It cannot work. We are better as a region than as a nation. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
We are better as a Yoruba person. I'm just surprised. In fact, when they say I'm a Nigerian before a Yoruba, I'm saying, oh my God, Jesus Christ, this will not kill me. Is Yoruba not existing before Nigeria? Is Yoruba not existing before Nigeria? I don't know. God should just help us divide that country.
Identity, and it's something.
Very.
A bloody Yoruba man, a bloody Igbo man who say he's a Nigerian before he's Igbo. I'm a Nigerian
before Igbo,
and you don't think something is wrong with you.
Hey. That's why Nnamdi Kanu, I will never leave it. Oh my God. I will never stop listening to Nnamdi Kanu. I'm a Yoruba person, I'm here. But words of wisdom, truth. People don't know the power of truth. Standing right, knowing the truth, having knowing the right thing to do. Your mindset, with all this crazy mindset that they have in that country, they will continue to suffer. They will continue to suffer if they don't change, they don't stop it, they don't divide that country. If they don't stand on their own, standing right in their own right place, they will continue to suffer. Like, you know, the last time I called, I was saying I don't want to be dwelling on their matter again. I don't want to. I'm just focused. Division. That's my own. That's the only thing I discuss with
people. They will continue to justify why your belief is very strong, man. Because every day, the reason why you prefer division is being justified by their actions every day. So you are never going to stop asking for the division. Trust me, because they are not going to stop what they are doing. So yeah, we are on it.
People that will justify the bad thing that they are doing, they have justification for doing the wrong thing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. God bless you. God will continue to uplift you.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you for our studio. It's our studio.
It is our studio. It's something that everybody will be like, yes, we are part of that. I am part of that. And every success
I am part of
us. It's ours.
Yes,
thank you so much, man.
Yes, with God. You're welcome. Have a good evening.
And you
have
too.
A good evening.
Send well to everyone in the house as well, okay? The family. You have a good one, man. So that's our lady Deola from Dublin, and that's the Highland up north, from Scotland here. So I am going to use maybe a minute to ask everyone who is still here with me before I take another call. Okay, I wanted to please check if you have actually liked this broadcast. You can tell once you go under the video, you will see that white thumb up would have turned, I think, blue if you have liked it. So don't do it again. But if you haven't really liked the broadcast, maybe you should. Okay. E8. Thanks so much for your super chat, by the way. I almost lost that. So thank you very much. Here I am. I have another caller. Hello there.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening to you too. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you very much. I think I've been watching you for the past 2 years now. Thank you very much.
That's grand. And your name is that right?
My name is KS.
Oh, KS, you said, yeah?
Yeah, KS. I'm calling from Blackpool.
KS from Blackpool. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for being part of it again tonight.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you won't change in the future.
Well, I mean, people say that to me all the time, but
yeah,
it's
because
been 10 years so far, so good.
Yeah. But we pray. We are praying for you, and we also we derive inspiration from you. we get a whole lot of issues and a whole lot of benefit from your broadcast because
bless you. So
why would I even trade our eyes to those?
You know what I mean, KS. Why would I want to trade that for 6 pieces of shekels?
Yeah, okay. We thank God for that.
If nobody's I don't mad. So if anything like that, maybe all of you will begin to kind of look for me and quickly take me for here.
I hope we pray that
this is not normal. I'm saying it now because
it won't come to that. It won't come to that because you've helped us. You helped us a lot to see what they call the blind spots.
Thanks, man.
The blind spot in our political leadership, in our economy, in just anything that has to do with Nigeria. You have actually exposed us to the blind spot. What I want to say is that before the woman that called in, there was an earlier caller that called in. So that guy made some salient point concerning those retirees. What I want to contribute to what he had just said is that yes, they are our elders. We cannot deny them the respect that they deserve as Africans. But that respect should be defined and should have a limit. That's what I want to say. Because why? You see the people within that age bracket. They are the same people, they are the same age with people from Malaysia who came to Nigeria to pick our palm fruits. They are the same brackets, they are same age bracket with people who came from Malaysia to pick our rubber plant seeds. Today, Nigerians are jostling. Go to Malaysian High Commission in Nigeria, you see Nigerians sleeping over just to get Malaysian visa to travel to Malaysia. So, sir, Maiyegun, tell me what respect do those people in Nigeria deserve? They don't deserve any fucking respect. They don't
deserve any of that. That's why I told you. I said respect is earned.
It's
and you
earned.
cannot demand it if you don't.
They don't deserve it. While they were on looting spree, they didn't see. I live in Festac.
Right.
T8 duplex in Festac was bought with 3 naira. 3 naira. This civil servant, you see, this retiree, they bought it with 3 naira. They won it with 3 naira.
They became homeowners with.
They became homeowner with 3 naira. To buy that T8 in Festac today, if you don't have up to 150 million naira, you dare not go there. If you don't have up to 3 million naira for a year rent, you dare not go there. Yes, sir.
That same Festac today.
That same Festac today. Go to the houses that Jaconde built. These same people.
Those low-cost housing,
Yeah, these same people, they won in with 50 kobo.
Hey.
So now go to those Jaconde houses. You can't afford it. You can't even afford to rent it. So those men within that age bracket who didn't even plan for us, they don't deserve respect in our society. They are a waste. They are a
I
cost
said, if we all look back, KS, I said, if all of us look back very well and look at our parents, they might not be rich, but go back and look at their age when they were of our own age.
Go and see what
they achieved. Exactly. See what they were able to achieve. Even with the little that they were doing, they were sending 6 children to university.
Yeah, they achieve it with respect and integrity.
But look at it today. You and I are now parents. Can you and I fund 10 children the same way our parents did?
Can you even fund two children? You are talking about 10 children, two. You can't send any Nigerian. You can't send there are no public schools in Nigeria that is worthy of sending your children to in Nigeria as I'm talking to you now.
40-year-old men are still collecting pocket money from their parents.
Yeah, from their parents. They are still living under their parents. Why these men got married at the age of 21, they graduated at the age of 19 or 21 years old.
But look at us.
They don't deserve respect. They are the one that plunged us into this situation where we have become. You see, these guys are slave drivers. What they did is that they just changed the mode of slave trade. They just changed the method. That's what they do, because most of us here were in the diaspora. Are we really happy being here?
I don't think so.
So that's the problem. If you check it, it's just the slave trade hasn't ended. It hasn't ended. What they did was just to metamorphose it into another thing. They changed the approach, and they are still selling us. Okay, what is the difference between someone who sold his brothers, who sold our brothers and sisters to slavery, and those who is stealing our money and bringing it down here.
Denying us access to healthcare, denying us access to good infrastructure, denying us access to our dreams.
That is it. Then let me go back to Tinubu. Tinubu problem is this. One, he knew he didn't win that election. He knew in the first place he was not even qualified to stand for any election in Nigeria. What did he do? In order to get Western validation, he brought out these nonsense policies that he called economic reform. That was why he was so much in a haste, in order to legitimize, you understand, the mandate that he stole.
No wonder they are saying that the Western world are praising him. Why Nigerians
they are praising him because why? He's doing their bidding, because he's, according to, let me borrow the word from David Udehi. He said it's a foreign intelligence asset. It's a foreign intelligence asset. Go and check all his economic blueprints. No one was actually designed for the Nigerian economy. Our economy is a peculiar economy. It's a mono-product economy. Any decision you want to take concerning that economy, because it's too very informal, you need to be critically careful. You need to be extremely careful. You don't just wake up to say this is what you want to do. It has to be supported by empirical analysis to see where it falls with the people. Because even if you say okay, the subsidy, the first subsidy regime was breeding corruption, you understand? Removing it outrightly was not the best thing to do. You will have sat down, understudied the process, see where there are lacunas.
The corrupt,
see where there are lacunas, see where those marketers are subchanging Nigerians. You block it. Then you put the necessary infrastructures in place so that by the time you are removing the subsidy, the ripple negative effect will occur. Even if I thought it occurs, it will be very, very minimal.
That's right. Is that not what he said he was going to do? I heard him say that too. He said subsidy cannot be removed outrightly.
It's not done because you are running a mono-product economy. Yeah, the economy of Nigeria is hinged on petroleum products. Because we are not a producing country. We import. Even to the two pigs that we use, we import them. So in removing subsidy outrightly, you have shut down the economy. You have impoverished Nigerians. Just because he was looking for validation. Then two, again, you look at the way he just, I don't know what they call it in economics. You want to have a single exchange. You want to float your international currency against your local currency. No country does that. So you live in the UK.
Yes.
Is that how UK does it?
I have never heard anything like that here.
No, they control it. You put some measures in place because one, you don't have the infrastructure. The economy has not been that advanced to a level where you have the data to monitor what is going on, what is going out, and what is coming. You don't have that infrastructure. What you needed to have done was to study the situation very well. Just okay, if I use so and so policy, let us see the reaction. It is from that reaction that you now begin to say, okay, we need to put this in place, we need to put this in place. And you just wake up just because you want to favor the West.
So you throw your country under the bus.
Then you throw your country under the bus, and today now you are now running a cascata. Then another thing is that I don't want us to look at it as if it's a Yoruba thing. No, you see Tinubu. Tinubu does not even believe in Yoruba nation. He doesn't even support Yoruba people. What he's doing is just, because of the level of what we call scarcity mentality in our system. So Tinubu is using that to say it is Yoruba turn. No, you go and check it. People have asked me, see, this man put Yoruba people everywhere. I said, no, this man did not put Yoruba people anywhere. The people he put somewhere are his cronies.
His own cronies.
Yeah, if he wants to put Yoruba people, but these are not the Yorubas that he will put there. And Tinubu knows the Yoruba he can put there that can change things, but he will not. There is no advice today you are going to give to Tinubu that he will take, because if those advice negate his own interest, he will throw them to the trash bin.
Exactly. See, KS. Yeah, like I have told many people on this program many times, we are all blessed on this platform with people, listeners like yourself, who are also contributors as well. I'm so happy to have you on, okay?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Yeah?
Thank you, sir. Please keep the job rolling. God will bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.
God bless you too. Yes, sir. That is a KS from Blackpool. Now, I am going to take just about a single call more, all right? And then that will be us for the evening, okay? Of course, we didn't start early, and somehow that wasn't that's not in our favor. But we can always make it up to ourselves by using the remainder of the time we have to, you know what I mean? So yeah, make I take just one more, and if it's the first one, or yeah, an easy first one, then I probably can still get another one too. Hello there.
Good evening, Maiyegun.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. This is Ferdinand from Newcastle. I called you last year.
Ferdinand from Newcastle, Baba.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting people from underrepresented areas on this platform. So I've got Blackpool, I've got now I have Newcastle. Baba, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. I've been following your program for a long time. Last year I also called you, I think during December and September period.
Right.
Yeah, you know how the UK is.
Familiar, but I'm glad that you are in again. Yeah. I mean, on again tonight, Baba. You know.
Yeah. I'm again tonight. So, Maiyegun, the thing there is that the problem with Nigeria is not something that can really be fixed by agitation and the people there. First of all, the problem with Nigeria is that I will also put it Africa is that our people are so ignorant of a lot of things. I've been in the UK for a while now, and last December I traveled home to see my people back home.
Oh, bless you.
You wouldn't believe it. Like from the airport, you could tell that the whole situation has been messed up. You know, just like the previous caller said.
Quickly before you continue, right? Somebody said they left Nigeria, okay? And then they came back, and it's like every problem they knew 25 years ago when they left Nigeria, they went back to Nigeria. Every of such problem is either they are like, apart from the fact that they are still there, right? Is either they have now become even worse, and that breaks the heart of a lot of people who jackpot and go back home and say, "See what you ran away from. It never changes. It just gone worse."
Exactly. I stay. My family stays in Port Harcourt. So when I arrived at Abuja Airport, immigration officers were, because they already know the country you're coming from. They already know the moment you land. They already know the country you're coming in from. So they started asking me for pounds. And I said, I don't even have pounds on me. I'm not supposed to travel with pounds if I'm leaving the UK for Nigeria because of security reasons. And they said, at all, just give us anything. I said, how can you be asking me for money when you're doing this kind of job? Look at you, you're well dressed, and they will not even ask you of that. So the thing there is that the whole country is hungry. Starting from the immigration officers, the military, the police, everybody is hungry. When I got into the country, the high cost of Hollandia yogurt, when I was in Nigeria, I bought Hollandia yogurt last 450 naira before I left Nigeria. When I got back home, I bought it 3 weeks ago, about 2,000 naira.
Hollandia
that
milk.
Is how.
Hollandia yogurt,
yes,
rather.
Hollandia yogurt, the big one. You know the big one.
Is
the
now
Hollandia
how much?
Yogurt, big one.
Now
2,000 naira. That was what I bought it.
Right.
My parents, they stay in Port Harcourt. Everything has gone up, and I started looking at the faces of Nigerians. Everybody is frustrated. Everybody is angry. And to make matters worse is that people, when you try to enlighten them or kind of tell them the origin of their problem, they don't really see it from your perspective. And then there was this massive church program everywhere. You see, another thing you also need to be pointing at, Maiyegun, is that religion has actually done more harm to our people than politics. politics and religion have really destroyed the life of Nigerians, because I think Nigeria came out as one of the most praying countries in the world. I think second. The second most praying and religious country in the world, according to statistics that was conducted. Now, you see, people keep going to church believing that there is somehow a miracle will happen and things will change. My cousin was going to this program, 21 days prayer for New Year, January, and yes, and I'm like, how can you be going to church for 21 days that you're praying for what? For what is happening in that? Do you really think you can pray out this country after 21 days program? He said, "Oh, what God cannot do does not exist." That is their slogan. But in as much as I'm a Christian,
does not exist. Right?
Yes, in as much as I'm a Christian, I am not doubting the power of God. But I know that when you don't do the right thing, you're going to remain stagnant where you are. So the politicians have actually destroyed the people with bad economic policies, that to the extent that the people are so poor, and they have gotten to this extent that it is now like a syndrome in their head that they are just expecting miracle. They are just expecting miracle.
They've accepted their fate that this is us.
They've accepted.
So we just wait on God to change our story.
Exactly. They've accepted their fate. And while I was in Port Harcourt, I visited Lagos. You need to see the level of hatred and how Nigeria has been so divided more than ever. You know, Tinubu knows how to play a divisive politics. He came in as a president, and then they started destroying the properties of Igbos in Lagos. And then he came in as a president. A few months later, 3 countries pulled out of an organization, a community that was formed 49 years ago. I'm talking about ECOWAS. And he doesn't even care. What he just knows is to please the West. You get it? So the problem, the solution to this problem is, first of all, when you want to solve a problem, you need to realize that there is one. There is a problem. I think Nigerians are beginning to realize that
there is exactly. You have to acknowledge it and understand it, and you can begin to talk about solving it.
Nigerians now are beginning to understand that there is really fire on the mountain, because if you look at the protest that is going on, especially in the northern states, because of high cost of living, I think the poor people have started having it to their neck. And like what former governor of Rivers State, Amechi, said, he said that the people that are doing protests are the sons of rich men. That when the real poor people hit the streets, that then the politicians, they won't be in Nigeria, because the poor people now are beginning to feel it, like things are really getting out of hand. You know,
we are poor now.
Yes.
But if I say they won't kill us now, we have to do something. This is not normal.
Exactly.
You think so?
Exactly. So when this, and you know what, the North has never been a party to protest in Nigeria. Whenever there is a protest going on in the South, you see the North do what is called anti-protest. They will do anti-protest and say, "Oh, we are protesting because of the protest going on in the South." Like they do anti-protest, not sympathy protest.
We saw so much of those madness under Buhari. You remember?
Yes, exactly. So now that a Southerner, which is Tinubu, is president, and the hardship had hit everybody so hard, the North started the protest of high cost of living. It's no, so now they are beginning to realize that there is something called protest, and that things have gotten so difficult that there is no more need to protect anybody under the umbrella of Northerner or religion. You know, they would have protected Tinubu that he's a Muslim, but the hardship has hit everybody so hard that this is not time to play religious politics or tribal politics. So now I just pray that more people join in this protest. Let us see if this revolution will spark up from there, because that is the only thing that will solve this problem.
And they have arrested 3 women. They arrested 3 women for organizing the protest in Minna, in Niger State.
In Minna.
And then they are also looking for those who organized the one in Kogi. So maybe in their process of responding to all these protests here and there, that's when they will make the mistake that we eventually bring to the end.
Yes,
all of this.
Of course, of course, and the government is so good at trying to like clamp down people who are trying to like start up protests. What are they scared of? What are they scared of? This lady Aisha Yusuf, yeah, she was saying something the other day on television that she's not scared of DSS, that she lives very close to them, that if they want to arrest her, they should come and arrest her, that DSS is always good at, arresting citizens that are not dangerous, that are always saying the truth, but they cannot go and find information about all these terrorists that are killing people and kidnapping people and disturbing the peace of others. So I think Nigeria has completely been captured in the sense that even when people try to like demonstrate that we are hungry and angry, the government clamps down on them. What do you want them to do? Things are very difficult and expensive. You expect them to fold their hands and smile. It will not really it will not really work like that. So I just hope to see more of this protest that is trying to like spark up the whole nation and
get up there, because the truth is that Tinubu is not doing anything. All of their teams are not doing anything.
Of course,
they are just playing too sure, 3 sure, odd, and all that with your future to see which one is going to eat. And we will tell the people and show them that too, and it's up to them to see if this is.
And it has gotten to the extent that they can no longer hide they can no longer use any amount to kind of like substitute,
can't stop people from crying out if they are hungry. You know that.
Of course, look at the naira. The naira a few days ago was £1,900 for £1 to naira, and they moved in some money into the FX. Now it looks like it came down to 1.7. Now it's going down. It's I think 1,875 now.
Around 800, yeah,
because
1,800 and something. Yeah. It's all voodoo economy.
So it's also going back to that 1.9. So I want to see how much they can get, another dollars they can get
from
and also put it and
reduce it and
exactly.
Hmm.
When I went to Port Harcourt, I went to Access Bank and I asked them, can I withdraw $1,000 from my account? I have a domiciliary account. They said, "Oh no, we can't give you $1,000 now. We can only give you $200." I said, "What are you saying? What do you mean you can only give me $200 in my account? What do you mean you can only give me $200? That I need $1,000?" They said, "No, that they can't give me they can only give me $200." I said, "Okay, I give me $200." Maiyegun, do you know that at the end of the day, what they gave me was $150.
$150.
Even the $200 they said they have, they couldn't even give it to me.
People have no idea what has happened to
Nigeria. And I was like, what are these people doing with people's money?
I told you, if you have $10,000 in your bank, walk to any bank in Nigeria, okay? Ask them that you want to withdraw $5,000 from your money. Your money, not everything. No, I need $5,000 from my domiciliary account. Come back here and tell me.
They won't give you
that money. There's no money. There's no forex anywhere.
They won't. They've looted and made away with all the money people put in the. So it's gotten to the extent that I'm, thinking of like closing the account because I don't even trust anything Nigeria again. The banking system, everything there is gone. So if this protest keeps going,
and like others, like I said, I could listen to some of you all night, okay. But again, I want to say thank you. All right.
Thank you very much, Maiyegun, and keep the good work. Thank you very much. Keep the good work. Yeah,
I will. Okay, and I hope you also keep it up and by keeping on calling and trying in, and then I will get used to it too.
Sure, I will. I will.
God bless you, American.
Thank you very much,
right
sir.
there in Newcastle.
All right.
30.
All right.
Thank
you very much, sir.
And good night.
All right.
Thanks.
Good night, sir.
Now that's Ferdinand there from Newcastle here in the United Kingdom. Our time is so far gone. A lot of people are really angry with me. Maiyegun, I thought we've discussed this. 3 minutes is enough. How can you allow people to be talking for 10 minutes? See, I'll think about it next time. I promise you, okay? Because sometimes my answer will never answer you. You see, when people have that to share and all that, and some of you are listening to them and agreeing with them in the comments. When I tell them their time is up, now when I go see the television, Maiyegun, leave him. Let him talk. Leave her alone. Let her finish. I've seen that many times. But time is time. My time is so up as well, okay? I am going to see you some other time. But remember this, if you haven't really liked this broadcast, please do before you go, okay? But if you have already done that, don't do it again. Share it as well, okay? Share this broadcast if you haven't. I'm going to see you some other time. Until then, remember, take it easy. And have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun Diary, Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n
ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọ́ mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o ákàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.